Yeah, I don't think the screen's gonna let you see much.
Okay, sorry.
And
Not your
does anybody know the 718 enough to know if there's a data thing that has to happen there?
What happens when you hit mode? Does it just swap between like CW, sideband, FMAN?
Yeah.
There's no data or anything.
No.
But if he hits the tune button on the WSJT-X, the signal link acknowledges that, puts a light on, and transmit, and it does its thing. It just doesn't click the transmitter.
Right.
Go ahead. Just played over there. Thank you. So if you hit that, so what we got to do is get the 718 there. And oh, there's Ken. That's the guy. He's going to have it right there. He's got all the brains. He's the somehow the 718 is not hearing the command from the signal link.
Oh, he hadn't got his audio connected yet.
No, he knows we're talking about him, so he's running away. Well, there's Steve. We see the bottom head part of his head now. Hi, Steve. And there's Jared. Did you spend any money, or did you do anything, or did you get it all hooked up with what you had?
I have not spent any money yet. I'm gonna try and do it all at one time, which I know sounds dumb, but
that's funny.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna try, and I'm probably gonna buy. I don't know. I'm trying to decide if I want to go battery first or get it set up to work off of like indoors first, or I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet.
Just hook a jumper cable to your car.
Yeah. That would work too. I'm just trying to decide if I want to go the battery route first, or if I want to build the box and then I'll buy all the batteries and stuff. I don't know. I'll figure it out.
Yeah. Yep. Well, there's Clay's beard. Not much more. There he is. There he is. What's for lunch? What are you feeding us?
Oh, it's just something stupid. Macaroni and tomato sauce with a little bit of butter. Something quick. I'm like going, I'm liable to be hungry by the time this is over.
Bachelor food.
Yeah, you're not lying.
You take the first three things off the cupboard and put them together.
Well, Mr. Don, have you gone out dancing yet?
Oh, not intentionally.
Let's see.
Dancing a couple times, getting out of bed, trying to make it to the walker. But yeah, we'll see how we do tonight. I may still end up in the recliner with my eyes closed by the end of the net, but we'll see. Got a new ring light last week. I kind of a little surprised it's not illuminating the room more, but if I turn it up any higher, it's blinding me. So at least you can see me, such as I am.
John, I put a link in there that I'm reading. It says setting up a 718 for digital. I don't know if it's worth a damn, but I'm going to read it. And I put a link in the chat.
There's Mr. Ken now. You can see him.
Oh, is he there? Can we talk to him?
Should be able to.
Can he talk to us?
I don't know.
What is he doing?
I don't know. He's busy working on something. He's got a new angle too. Looks like he's got a whole ham shack set up out there in the garage now.
The armpit of Ken. Ken, how come your old signal link is not keying the 718 radio? John has inherited that radio from Mark Clayton, and he can hit the tune button on WSJT-X, and signal link shows transmit light, but the 718 is not transmitting. It's not responding. Is there a button you have to push on the 718 to say, listen to the back, to the signal from the back? Did I stutter enough to get you going?
I don't remember. I'll have to look at manual for a minute.
Okay.
On that. It was pretty straightforward to set it up. I thought we had that all worked out.
Well, you did. I know that.
Well, we had it working for Mark.
Yeah. Oh, did you? Okay. he was not legal there. So he said the correct thing, which was he never transmitted in that location, sir. And good for him. I don't see it. It says RIDI on it. Some of those things have a little button that you have to tell the radio, hey, really, I mean you to go key when I click the.
Well, is it
Line.
being connected with the cat cable?
He says there's a cable that goes from the signal link to the back of his 718.
Right, that's the accessory that goes into the accessory port.
Are there two ports that he may have done it in the wrong port?
Well,
No.
one accessory.
One accessory. Okay.
So that should be okay.
Well, I've diagnosed a 718. I've never driven one.
There are some computer settings associated with, seems like setting that up in terms of computer control. Lord. All right, you're gonna have to give me a couple minutes.
Yeah, research, sir. Thank you very much.
I've been cutting limbs, so I got to get out of that mode.
Oh gosh. And if we need to, we'll put you in a separate room and you guys can beat each other up until you get it right, or what do we want to do? And Captain Ron's there. Did you get your new call sign?
I did, sir.
Ha ha.
Came in today, actually.
That's what we're saying. What's the call sign?
Kilo 5 Bravo Victor Oscar K5 Bevo.
So you're a Texas fan, I see.
Oh hell yeah, I bleed orange.
Oh my God. Should be N0 BVO, right, Don? Well, good deal.
Whatever works.
Yep, it's still not. Or no, it's Whiskey 5. You said
No, K5.
K5 BVO.
Yep.
Yep,
You got
it's
it.
not. Yep, the QRZ is always a day behind, so it's not on the QRZ stuff yet. But very
Okay.
cool. Yeah, it's a weird thing. 17 days. First business day after the 17th day, they process them, and then they're good that next night. So.
I was
We had
starting
a-
to wonder if I did something wrong.
No. It's the government.
Yeah, don't I know that?
I don't know. The rule really is 17 days after the first business day after the 17th day that they received it, they process them all on that day, and that night it gets updated. So.
Yeah, because I think you nailed it. You said March 2nd, and I was like, how did he know that?
That's the rules.
That's the rule.
It's the FCC.
All right.
They do all. Well, congrats.
We had a comm officer on Looking Glass that his FCC, he got his ham license. His FCC license came back as N0XIT, so we just called him no transmit. And we kind of preferred him not transmitting anyway. So he's in the back of the Looking Glass with his O2AT attached to one of the VHF antennas, BSing on 652 from 35,000 feet in Looking Glass. Kind of pointed out that might not really be a good idea.
What do you mean low profile?
Yeah.
Well, did you get the card? Did your guy from California get your 80-meter card, and did you get his and life?
Oh yeah, he's happy here to Larkin Park. I 20 minutes after the contact, he was good on Logbook of the World and QRZ, and I got him a card. I just sent him a card that night, and he sent one the next day, and it's all done, and so no complaints.
That was kind of cool. He was tickled. That was hilarious.
I had somebody send me an email saw me on FT8 and said, I need Oklahoma for FT8.
Oh.
And I'm going, I don't even see you on the list. And I go, drop down to 400, 300 on the pan adapter. And let's see if we can see each other. And same thing, once I saw him, he called CQ. 30 seconds later, it was history. And same thing, I updated him in Logbook of the World right away. And we exchanged a couple emails, and that was about it.
Yeah, the cool thing on that was is 250th work all states. So it's 5-band worked all states. Was the only thing he was missing was Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Nifty.
And it took about 1,380 watts to get it done at 8 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock at night.
Oh, geez.
on 75 meters.
Oh my God.
He could hear me from the mobile, but there was no traffic quality.
Yeah.
And so I go, okay, we'll solve this. 540 foot loop and 1,380 watts. If you don't hear me on that, it's not going to happen tonight.
Yeah.
And he doesn't like to stay up late. So,
well, hell, that was his time. That would have been 680 or 6 something, right?
yeah. I think it was the official time was 6:33. I'm sorry, 8:33 my time.
Yeah, 6:33 his time. So
yeah. Ex-son's probably almost still up.
Yeah, probably close. Well, good. That was a lot of fun. So, anybody else got anything, stories going along while we're working on John's trying to get his transmitter fired off? Anybody else got any stories, fun stuff? Nothing? Yeah, Ron, I see your call sign in the big FCC database. And
Yeah, I'm all official.
you're official and everything. Look at that.
I'm a real boy.
Yeah.
So if I wanted to join your band of misfits, how do I go about doing that?
w5nor.org/membership. We'll get
All
you
right.
there. And that'll do it. Online. You can do it online. You can print out an application, send it in, whatever you floats your boat. And then I know you're wanting to do ARRL, and that's ARRL./join. And actually, if you take the paper one and put scars on there, we get credit for it. So if you do ARRL by paper, you can put us up there as South Canadian Amateur Radio Society, and we'll get some credit for it.
So instead of doing it online, doing it by paper and mailing it in?
Do it, yeah, on the ARRL one. Yep.
Okay. So what does that do for y'all?
Gives us $10 and a flower in our a feather in our cap. I think the
Those feathers are important.
I say the feathers probably worth more than $10. Oh well.
Isn't there a percentage of club membership that is ARRL, and then you get a special identifier like a special service club? Or
It's actually exactly the word. Special Service Club, SSC, is if you have over 50% of your members are ARRL. We usually have that pretty easily. I know we officially report 50%, but I know we've always got more than that. And it's just kind of a pain. I wish that I've talked to John Stratton, our district guy. I wish there was a way to so we could look up and see if somebody had their membership.
I'm just waiting to see if I get yelled at by Peter because I put in my stuff to come test on Thursday.
I saw it.
I'm waiting to see if I get yelled at because something's wrong or something.
Oh, no, there's nothing wrong.
Okay, cool.
No, that's nothing wrong. You'll get yelled at because there's, I think, 15 people scheduled already for Thursday night. We got 4 of the kids from the OU, the balloon project. All 4 of them are going to come test Thursday night.
That'd be cool.
So
6:30, 6:30, right?
6:30, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool. Well, I'll be there.
Well, good. Good. Oh, Mike Richardson said he's in storm training tonight. That is tonight. I forgot about that.
Yeah, someone came on the radio earlier saying nobody should be on the bank. They should be in class.
They those run often, and if you miss it tonight, or if you want to do it some other time, it was is in the newsletter. Let me go grab it. It's on the front page of the SCARS webpage. Is the list a link to the list that shows you all of the wonderful times that they have for that. Hey, they're running it darn near every night. And we've archived the last year's ones, which is good videos if you really can't make it. But this one, I think last night was Weatherford, if I remember right. Garfield, Grant, K, Noble. Yep. Lincoln, Payne, Logan last night. No, that was the 25th. Beckham, there it is. Roger Mills, yeah, it is Northwest. And we are tonight, 6:30. So if anybody wants to jump in over there, you can. But there's a lot of other options. It's always great stuff. Our Rick Smith, I don't know how many of you are Rick Smith people, but Rick Smith is the chief coordinator, warning forecaster guy, whatever they call him nowadays. And he will be doing the SCARS meeting on the 13th, a week from Saturday. So he will have a great presentation talking about how the forecasting stuff, kind of the back end stuff is working. And if you have any questions, it's a really good time to go.
Because I'm a narcissist.
The heck?
But this first song is for my lead character.
My phone just decided to start talking to me.
I need to make that song the ringtone for my boss.
I think everyone knows that.
Did I say that out loud? Is this being recorded?
Yeah, actually it is. Actually it is.
That's okay. He will never see it.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it.
Last week he spent 3 quality days giving birth to about 2 10-millimeter kidney stones.
10 millimeter?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah, they went in and fished them out with
Those are boulders, not stones.
Yeah, that's
It's landscaping material.
Yeah, he hasn't.
That's 40 caliber for you shooters out there.
Yeah. And I'm sure on going in and out, that would tear you up, both as a kidney stone and a bullet.
Yep.
And I thought I was hurting.
Yeah. You want to feel good about yourself. Yep. That's a good way to do it. That's a good way to do it.
But, yeah, so he hasn't been at work, and so we've got the number 2 guy running the place, and that's always just entertainment. So it's life in the restaurant business.
Yes. I bet that's fun these days with COVID and stuff. Are you guys kind of picking back up or swamped?
We never, it's feast or famine. We are either so busy that we can't keep up, or we're standing around looking at each other.
Yeah.
There will be the printer will. One of the things that Jimmy John's in most franchises, it was a big mistake. They allowed customers to do immediate catering orders, so they can send us a ticket to where they want 3 30-piece trays, and if our projections we haven't made enough bread, we can't support it, and so you have to kind of jump through hoops to look at what you have on hand, and invariably they will send the order in 10 minutes before lunch.
Oh, man.
When our computer projections had said, okay, we're going to do X amount of dollars business based on trends from last year. Because of COVID, last year's trends are somewhat skewed.
Yeah.
So
Somebody's going to Subway and get bread.
No, we'll call the memorial store and say, hey, do you have bread that we can borrow?
Yeah.
And we take them frozen.
Oh.
And we just kind of swap. But there's a lot of times we just say, sorry, we cannot support this. And they will go, but yeah. And it's, right below the catering in red letters is 24-hour notice. We'll accept the order, but 24-hour notice.
Well, they have these things called computers. See, and what a guy like me can make a little if time is less than 24 hours. Ignore this.
Well, and what's funny is that if we open at 11 and somebody goes to the online order system and tries to order something before 11, the earliest that it will allow them to delay that order is for, amazingly enough, 11:01.
So the programmer like me has never worked in the store.
Yeah, exactly. And I've said those exact words several times.
No, I'm sure they had different words in front of programmer.
Douchebags?
Yeah, here you go.
Yeah, but no, we have people that'll walk up to the register and go, hey, is it possible to get 330 pieces? When would you like those? Now? No.
Yeah.
Because our bread process is 4.5 hours.
Sheesh.
So
4.5 hours.
Yeah, and
see you for supper.
330-piece trays. That is 30 sandwiches. So there's that's 15 sticks of bread, which is a complete cycle for us in the oven. I ended up having to explain myself to corporate one night after I wound a lady up. And it wasn't that I did it on purpose, but there are a few of the administrative specialists at UCO who have my cell phone number. These are people who order $1,600 of food from us a month. So, yes, they get special treatment. And one of the ladies gave my phone number to somebody who doesn't have any common sense. She calls me at 12 o'clock at night and says, I need 80 box lunches at 8:30 in the morning. And I go, I can't support that. Why not? And I go, because we don't open till 11. And currently I don't have a set of keys to the store. We're closed. I'm sitting on the edge of my bed right now. And for that large a sale, had I been able to have a set of keys, I'd gone in and solved the problem. Yeah. But she called corporate and yelled and screamed and jumped up and down. And, at 11 o'clock, we get a phone call from our business coach in Illinois going, why are you winding this lady up? And I go, I want to hear the Paul Harvey rest of the story, because I'm sure that I'm going to tell you a different story than she told you. And the business coach is going, okay, just don't worry about it. You're 100% right. So, now I have keys to the store and I can solve that problem. But, it comes back to common sense.
Yeah,
it really does.
Yeah, nice try. Nice try.
Exactly.
Well, Gary Skaggs came in from Texas. So you got power?
I do.
Did the pool freeze?
Had power for over a week now. Thank you very much.
Did the pool freeze?
No, it actually didn't. After the cold snap, we never got snow here. It sleeted a little bit, but 2 days later, the pool was at 49, and now unassisted, it's in the mid 70s, and it was 53 this morning. So it's doing okay. But
Okay.
I'm not running the pool heater yet. I'm not ready to get in the pool. Thank you very much. Give it a month.
Man, that's got to be a lot of BTUs to make that thing change a little bit.
Yeah, I don't want to run the heat pump that bad.
Is it a heat pump?
Yeah, the pool heater's a heat pump. Yep.
Oh, really?
Yep.
I hear the Gulf of Mexico's water temperature is still in like the low 60s.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, it is.
It is. Yep. And we pretty much every morning is fog until about 9 or 10, depending on which direction the wind's blowing. Yeah.
That's crazy. Bill, are you down there?
I'm at Bayou Vista, about 6 miles out of Galveston.
Gary's your neighbor, what, 1,500 miles away?
It's not 1,500 miles, but it's a good 400 from here.
Gary,
You just can't walk down
we're
the
down
street
here for a
around the
couple of
corner.
weeks.
Gary's
let's just say
probably not.
it's a lot closer to go to Bill's house than it is to come to Norman.
yeah. Gary's down there by the launch pad tomorrow. You gonna wait for the launch?
I'm gonna listen for it. Trust me, we'll hear it.
Imagine.
You might be close enough to feel it.
Yes, I feel it before I hear it. Actually, thank you.
Said the garage door rattles.
Oh yeah, the garage door rattles before I can hear it. Yeah, it's weird.
I grew up in Los Angeles, and when Vandenberg used to light Minuteman 2s off, about 30 minutes later, we could hear it. And then you look up into the sky and see the trail.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun to watch. And what's that?
From here, we're a little less than 12 miles from the SpaceX launch pad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Mark?
Yep.
Got three possible ideas for the 718 John's issue with the transmit.
Did John fall asleep? Is he still there?
Yeah, he's still there.
There he is. Yeah, he's off the edge of my screen.
It says here that if the signal link is attached to the radio's data or accessory port, then your radio must not be configured properly to use that port. Most radios must be in a digital mode in order to transmit properly.
From the back port?
Yes.
So we want to set the radio from USB. That's, I think, what Jared was talking about to start this train wreck, if I remember right. Is there a CW mode? That's what I'm kind of got on the screen here. No.
Also says that whatever your baud rate is on your WSJT needs to be the same baud rate on the radio.
Oh, so that's serial. Do we do that? Did we have that, John? Do you know what we're talking about? No, we have to set something on the radio for the baud rate. The speed.
Now, John,
Are we talking 718 again?
yeah.
There is a segment in there where the baud rate can be set to automatic, and it will connect via the, it'll match whatever's talking to it.
So you have to find that. Let's see. Let's go see if
But that's
we can
in,
find that.
that's either in the preliminary settings or in the quick settings, and I don't remember which. I'd have to go back, pull that manual back up. But there is also a segment in, let me pull it up here.
Well, the quick settings is the button on the front that you can go to the menu.
The signal link manual says the signal link USB does not use a serial port, COM port for PTT or any other function. So you should not set one of the set one in the communication program. If it does ask for one, you should put none or COM 0 if you have to, or the equivalent. The program that if it has you select a PTT type, then this should be set to something like Vox external or alternate push to talk method to allow the signal link to control the push to talk. So the signal link should control push to talk through the accessory jack.
Yeah, and that's what's not happening because we're getting it. If he hits tune, the signal lights lighten up.
Is the cat cable plugged in too? I would unplug it.
Is the cat cable plugged in too? Does that go off the back also? Is that a network cable?
I'm just wondering if they're fighting.
Could
I don't
be.
remember. I honestly don't remember if I had the cat cable.
I don't think you did. You might have.
When I first got the signal link, I don't think I had it. And that signal link makes no reference to any requirement for the additional computer control. So it basically functions like Vox, but it uses the push to talk in the accessory jack, I think.
Now, is that a serial connection between the radio and the signal link, or is that just a wire?
USB. You have USB to the computer to the signal link, and
right, that's working.
And then you have the accessory jack is connected to the back of the radio, and I think that's an RJ12 or something connector that hooks to the back of the signal link. I don't remember.
Like a phone, like a
phone
mobile
jack,
phone jack.
or a cat 5 type. I think that's what. I'll go back and look. I got the manual up here. Don't tell people I'm reading the manual.
Well, it's even worse.
It's not my manual, so that's
what's even worse is the thing on QRZ says the manual is not very good and it's not even accurate. So that's good. Page 33, they say is not accurate, whatever that means.
Well, it got me working when I used it.
Yeah.
So
well, this guy might not have read the manual either.
Yeah. But
that's why he's posting in the QRZ. How about Vox? Can we get him just to try Vox?
Vox is it does suggest putting it on Vox, but then of course, if you got your microphone plugged in, your hand mic or desk mic, background noise is going to operate.
One thing it says here too, it says that the 13-pin DIN plugs found on the ICOM radios can be plugged in exactly upside down, even though they are keyed.
I do kind of remember that.
Is that a selling feature?
Jeez.
Well, that's for south of the equator.
Bill and Gary have to plug them in upside down. Oh my God. John, is that a thing that you can plug in upside down or right side up? Can you try that?
It doesn't have what they refer to as an idiot plug.
Well, we got a lot of those.
Mark Clayton, is this your radio?
Yeah.
Okay. It's my old radio?
Yes.
Okay.
Busted.
What did you get?
I got a Yaesu FT991A.
Well, it's all right, because I'm actually thinking about maybe a 7100.
I looked at both of them.
To get, well, in my case, I'm not interested in fusion. So, and I already have ICOM, so the 7100 would be a natural way a cheaper way to expand to VHF and UHF than getting a 9700. I just don't get satellite 1.2 gig or whatever.
Are you guys hearing me?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Now we are.
Okay. I'm trying to figure out, I have a new headset and it's supposed to have a mute on it. So I'm going to do a quick test here. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Apparently the mute does not work.
Well,
I apologize for the background noise here earlier because
we have no. Well, Gary and I
you
were
are
dancing.
getting some static or cutting out when you're talking.
I think it's background noise. Well, you have a,
Yeah, I have a refrigerator in here that.
I was gonna say,
Oh, there you go.
I'll mute my mic and listen. If I jump in here,
is
I'll
that your
plug
amplifier? So it's,
No, amp's not plugged in currently. I'm still trying to configure a HF station at the new location. So.
Oh, okay. Good.
I'm running 100 watts and I'm doing FT8, but everything else is I have some noise on HF that I'm trying to figure out where it's coming from. About 20 over S9 on 40 and 80.
No, that's not some noise.
yeah. Well, I talked to John N5Ys today about it, and I said, hey, I got a little issue as far as noise, and I sent him a picture of the S meter, and he says, is your RF gain? Is that the RF gain? I said, no, that is actually the noise. So it is. I do have a lady who grows weed next door.
Oh.
And I'm wondering if it's not her light, but I haven't had a chance to go hunting yet. Plus, I have a lot of data that runs in this house, so it may be one of the servers, or maybe a modem or a wall wart. I'm sure it's fixable, and the landlord is very willing to fix it, but it's just.
At 20 over it, it ought to be able to show up pretty quick.
Well, I'm not positive it's not in my room. So,
yeah.
But she's got a voice over IP phone system, and she's a program director for a TV station. So,
oh, cool.
She works from home. So, like I said, I got a lot of junk flying around this house.
Cool.
One of my little cheap switch mode power supplies was giving me that kind of noise on 40 meters. So it sure could be something as simple as that.
Yeah, that's right. You said that one.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's either a wall wart or a very dirty modem somewhere. Because it almost sounds like data, and it's very cyclical. So it's like, and I think we're going to find out it's some type of switching power supply, whether it's a wall wart or
whoever you blame, it's going to be the deal, but it's always going to be the same thing. I think remember down here, Denny couldn't find one, and he was rotating the beam, and it was crazy, and he could find it was pinpointed. Well, it was a switching power supply that was on his tower from the cable company that was using his tower.
Well, that's another problem, is because I've got one of those towers approximately 12 feet that way.
Yeah. He kept rotating. It's northwest. They looked out in the fields and power companies, and finally it was on the tower. I think lightning got it, is what they found. They found it. Okay, CW operation. That's not CW. Who else is there? Jack's in there. Haven't seen Jack. Haven't heard from him. Is he around, floating around doing something? No, I guess not. He's on. There he is. You're awake. You're napping.
I haven't been here a while. Figured I'd just kind of lurk.
I'm glad you did. Good to see you. How you been?
Did the Mayan WS last night. I don't know. Just been busy. Trying not to buy a 991A, so I'm hoping somebody will keep talking about that in a minute and really tell me to go buy it.
It's no good, is it, Mark?
Oh, no. He needs to buy at least two.
Yeah. One for me and one for a friend, right?
Exactly. That's how that's supposed to work. Tell him, Mark.
Left hand, right hand. Man, left hand, right hand.
So where'd your second one go?
Yeah, Mark, where's your second one?
Yeah, right. Once I figure out the first one, we'll see about the second one.
Peter K is in there. Peter K, are you a 718 expert? We got a keying problem with Signal Link. He's making my dinner, I guess.
Yeah. Hey,
Well,
John, did it make any difference when you unplug and replug the cable in upside down? Or no. Only goes in one way, doesn't it?
Goes in both. Double check.
Okay, there's the X button. It looks like is this what it looks like? It's got an accessory. Oh shoot, I just flipped it around.
Yeah, you can turn it both ways.
You could turn it both ways?
Aha. There we go. Now try to transmit and see if you get anything off the radio. See if the signal link lights up.
Oh, please, God, don't make Mark be the guy that gets it right. Please, please, please.
Aha.
Because it had a picture. Where'd it go? I hate manualslive.com.
Well, what's it doing, John?
Wait and give him 1 second. You may have figured it out.
Ooh. Mark will never let me live that down.
Oh my goodness. You sell him a radio and you don't even hook it up right to him, man.
I knew it. I'll never live that one down.
Hang on, what you on so we can listen for you? What band are you on? What are you doing?
I'm doing an FT8 right now.
FT8? Okay.
40
meters, 20 meter FT8.
20 meter.
No, I'm 40 right now.
He's on 40.
40, okay.
7074.
Yeah. Dadgummit, how many windows can I open? All right, all of them. So flipping it over helped it?
Wondering.
Flipping it over helped it?
Looks like it's transmitting. I haven't gotten any confirmation yet, but it looks
if you
like
hit the the tune button, it fires up the radio?
Yes.
Cool. Cool. And he said 40. Let's go flip to 40. All right, people, listen to 40.
Listen
to 40.
Pulling the program up.
I can't believe, Mark, you win that. We're gonna have to remember that one because that's gonna bite us in the tail at least 15 more times.
You know that.
Golly. Where'd you find that? Where'd you find that?
I just typed in issue with the signal link, picking up the transmit from the computer, but not to the radio. And there's a whole bunch of possibilities to fix it. One of them was simply flip the cable on ICOMs, because ICOMs, you can go either way.
What call sign are we looking at on 40?
W5JWZ.
WZ.
I don't see him yet.
Call CQ. John. Hit the CQ, but where's the CQ? Oh, there it is, way in the bottom.
Yeah.
Way.
It's not showing on line 6 anymore. One thing.
All right, let's see what we get here.
Nope, I got another Z, but
right now.
K0.
Yeah.
No, Mark, I can't wait till my nice package shows up.
Oh, it hasn't shown up yet?
This week. I get the radio, and I got an antenna for it. I got a real good in-fed, high-quality in-fed with a 9-to-1 balun. It'll do 80 to 6. And I got the cable, the data cable to run from the radio to the computer for the WSJT, and it's got two ferrite.
Ferrets are different. Yeah, ferrets
Yeah.
are different. Yeah.
Yeah, ferrite. What do you call those blocks or whatever on the cables on the cable at both ends?
Jonathan, are you doing CQ on 40?
I'm trying to get there. I had an issue. Hold on one second.
No,
Are those
no,
bullet ferrites?
Huh?
Bullet ferrites?
It looks like the donuts that's wrapped on to the end. There's one at either end of the cable. That way it cuts down a lot of the noise. It's a 3-foot cable. They're made specially to do that. You can get them in either 3-foot or 6-foot. I got a 3-footer. That's all I needed.
Like I need extermination.
Holy cow! Philip showed up.
Oh, Mr. Phil, Sir Phil.
Hi guys. I'm just taking in for the count.
Oh, Mr. Phil.
That looks like the Norman Healthplex.
Oh, that's Phil's spring home.
Yeah, that's my alternate home right now. Is Healthplex ICU.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, they're bringing me out of here tomorrow, though.
Oh, where are you going? Back to the ranch or back to the Noble Ranch?
I'm going back to the Senate Ranch.
Woohoo!
They decided I was sick enough, and they just sent me home.
They were sick of you enough?
They were sick enough of me. Yeah.
Phil, I told you not to go chasing those nurses around there.
Oh, some of them are worth chasing.
That's why they keep those tubes so short.
That's right.
And the pajamas.
Yeah, I was gonna go the pajama route. You beat me to it.
I'll tell you what. When you go in the hospital, though, modesty goes out the window.
Yeah, I didn't even bother with bottoms for those 3 days I was there. I'm like, screw that. I'll throw a sheet over me. And the scrubs were nice and long, though.
I got the fronts. I got the backs. Forget the bottoms.
Yeah, they let me wear sweatpants, so everybody was happy.
Yeah.
Did you guys see me? Hear me?
Yep. Oh, are you transmitting? Anybody seeing John?
Not yet.
No, it should be a 15-second blast, right? On 40 meters.
Yep.
No, I see N5ILQ.
I've got a KI3N.
No.
No.
W5MZX.
W5JWZ.
Yep.
Let's see. FT8. Yeah, I'm on FT8. That's good. Man, there's a bunch of them out there. Gee, man.
Yeah, N0TEQ just picked me up.
And now I'm wondering, Mark, if that radio is probably not set up to 100 watts, it may be tuned down some.
I don't know. That's a good point. Do you know how much power you're putting out? Do you have a way to figure that out?
I also ran it on 25 watts.
Hold on one second.
Okay.
Because now it's not showing transmitting on the face.
Got it. You got to enable transmit. Did you do that?
I did.
Okay.
And I shot it out QC about 5 times.
CQ.
Yeah. But the thing is that it's
not keying the radio?
No.
Okay. That would have to happen first.
Any Vox required to get that to happen on that rig?
I don't know. It could be, but
Well, that's in settings on the WSJT.
Well, the radio, sometimes you have to set it for Vox to key on, but
Well, that's in menu.
But he doesn't have a microphone connection in the front. I didn't see a mic plugged in the front, so I'm guessing not. I'm guessing the audio comes in that accessory jack.
Yeah.
Would that be the DTR or the RTS?
Ooh, you mean for keying? I
For
would
the
try
TTT
both of
method.
them. Try both of them. It depends on how depends on how you have WSJT-X set up. Let's see what mine says.
Okay, so I'm on the radio section in the settings.
On WSJT-X or on your?
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Serial port is COM4.
Okay. Well, you're doing that because it's okay because Signal Link's picking it up, so don't mess with WSJT-X. That's good. Because it's as long as that light comes on Signal Link, that means your computer's keying the next guy in line. It's the Signal Link to the radio that's not working happy for you. And it won't let you do DTR or it picks one, DTR or RTS. I just tried mine.
Does the Signal Link, it has a transmit knob on the front. Does that have to be up pretty high? For to key the radio?
I don't know. Not a 718 guy. Like if you hit tune right now, does it key the radio? Mine does. And I do not have to have enable TX turned on to hit the tune and make it work.
Yeah, I'm getting both the tunes.
So if you hit the tune, the transmitter comes on?
What's going on here? Hang on one second.
Hanging on. Hanging on. Live from ICU.
Yeah, I'm
Phil
getting. Okay.
Is it firing up?
It's fired up.
So the transmitter's coming on when you hit the tune button on WSJT-X.
On Signal Link, yes. On the icon on the radio face itself, it's still staying in RX.
Still staying in RX, so we don't have it. It's got to be it.
Isn't there a button on the Signal Link to enable transmit on the front of it? It's been like 3 or 4 years since I've dealt with one of those.
There's three knobs, adjustable knobs, and a power button.
Okay.
What push to talk method is selected in WS and on your software on the computer?
Vox.
Oh, it's Vox?
That is what the Signal Link suggests.
Okay, but it's keying the Signal Link, so it's picking that up. Signal Link is understanding that it's supposed to be keyed. FT8 on ICOM 718. Let's see if this says anything. Goes a 13-pin DIN, USB. You
I
also
do
need
want-
to,
No,
I
I'm
do
not
wonder
receiving.
if you put the cat cable in and selected cat for push to talk, if that might make it work for you.
good point. It's here. Do we have the 718 selected from the WSJT-X?
Yes,
You
I
have
got it set on the radio on the settings. It's ICOM 718.
718. Okay.
It's got it. Serial port is COM4. The PTT is Vox. Now I can test the cat, but I can't test the PTT.
Oh, test the cat again and see if that error message shows up.
I test the cat and I got a green. I heard some clicking and I got green.
Clicking on the radio?
I'm clicking somewhere. They're probably
No,
saying
the
no,
test cat button got green.
Yeah. Yep. The test PTT, I can't push that.
No, me neither.
Because it's
Nor am I getting any receiving any signals anymore now.
well, try flipping. Maybe if you flip the accessory over, would that bring it back to receive?
That plug should not be totally ambiguous. There should be some indication of what the up and down is on the plug. Because I didn't have a difficulty with that when I put it together the first time. Well, it's possible to put it in upside down. There should be pin numbers on the plugs or something to indicate the correct orientation.
Yeah, it's written on in top now is up on top. There's a little indentation that sits correctly.
Okay, so you think you have it correctly at this point?
The index.
See, now I'm starting to receive.
Yay.
I bet if I were to push tune, I push tune and again I'm not transmitting. There's no sound.
Okay, now let's try something. Hit the test on the WSJT. Hit the test it for the cat again.
Okay, it clicked and it's green.
Okay.
Who clicked? The radio clicked, or the?
Let me do it
Try
again.
again.
Hang on.
Might have to do it a couple times.
The radio clicked.
Okay, so maybe we switch like Ken suggested. Take it off of.
Hang on 1 sec, guys.
Okay.
What was your thought, Mark?
Take it off of Vox and try something different, like a cat.
Mode data?
What'd you say?
Is the mode in data on the radio?
Its mode is in upper sideband.
Yes.
Is there a data mode on the 718?
No.
I didn't see one. No.
I don't
Just
think
upper
I've seen.
sideband.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen one.
And if you're on 40 meters, be sure you do switch to upper sideband.
Yes, it is on upper sideband.
On your WSJT-X, let's go to the settings page on the radio and let's try selecting cat for the PTT method.
I can't.
It doesn't have that option.
The cat it's grayed out. The only ones I have available is Vox, DTR, and RTS.
Putting any power out. What's the deal?
This is the part where it's, oh yeah, it's easy. All you have to do is
Sure, nothing to it.
nothing to it. School kid could have had this done a long time ago. 7, 8, 10. Let's see, 718 in my list. There it is. Yeah, when I go to 718, it shuts off the cat option. So that must not be an option for that. I'll have to go look at the signal link documentation. I don't, who's got a signal link? Anybody running one that has it working right?
Peter K has one.
Peter K has one. He's staying quiet.
Now you got to say his name 3 times, you know. You
Peter
get
K,
to-
Peter K, Peter K. That's right. Juji fruit, Juji. I mean, wow, 40's got signals way 10, 20 over 9. Somebody. Well, this is just no dadgum good.
Okay. John, did you remember which button on the front sets it in menu mode over there on the radio?
Which menu?
Hmm?
I said which menu? They got 2 menu options.
Okay.
The set.
Where you do the menu button on the front, you hit that, and then you can rotate the knob to show the different what's on the menus. First one you'll see it says 75%. You can rotate that big knob and it changes the menus. I forget which button it is on the front. It's like the upper left hand of those little group of buttons at the bottom.
Yeah, where mic gain, box gain, box delay.
Yeah, that menu selection. Keep going around till you find one that has to do with data or PTT or something of that nature.
PRIT?
No. You see one that says something to do with transmit or PTT or data rate or going around till you find one that has to do with data or PTT or something.
Well, the signal link troubleshooting says that you have jumpered the PTT and ground pins incorrectly, but that's
No,
not for this. I think that's that's for a direct key, if I'm guessing.
Or one that you bought as a kit and we're putting the jumpers in it.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's the kit version.
Got it.
This was not a kit.
What about the jumpers? I mean, it's very unlikely that they've changed or come loose. But
What is the CIV bod?
No.
Or CIV add?
Is there one that says accessory baud? Or ACC baud?
To take that back off a menu, John, you just hit that button again. That brings it in and out of the menu.
After 100 times looking at this, I never realized Signal Link only had one L.
Yeah, they like to mess with you.
Signal Link support group. 2,300 people in there, huh? Nobody else has had a problem before, huh?
No.
Well, good. Hello, Frank. Frank showed up.
I'm here.
Welcome. You got any problems or questions? Jump in. We're trying to fix one of the guys. Got a radio that he's trying to do some digital transmitting on, and it's not.
Yeah, I've been listening to that. I'm afraid I'm no help there.
Well, none of the rest of us are either, so I don't know that.
Somebody give him a 7300.
Yeah, that's what we should do. It should be the same. A Signal 7300 should be the same as a 718, but
No, not really.
no, not really. Okay. See, that's where I fall off.
Yeah, because you don't need a signal link for one thing. You just use it
Oh, yeah.
a USB cable. It's all
I got
built in.
lucky a couple years ago. Took my 590 to field day, and somebody wanted to run FT8 on it. And when I got back, all I had to do was plug the laptop and the USB cord into the back of the radio, and I was on FT8.
Thank you.
Consequently, RTTY, PSK, and everything else.
Yeah.
So the signal link definitely does not expect to have a cat cable or any other.
Okay. So the ACC is like.
So
I didn't have any trouble with my signal link once I got the audio level set.
Now
Yeah.
there is that. There are all those settings in Windows you got to look at.
You got to look in Windows and get the settings right
And then
And-
adjust on the box itself.
on the box itself. As I
Well, the receive's working good. It's the transmit side of it that he's having the problem with.
And it's just keying it.
Yeah, it's not keying the radio.
Delay should be fully counterclockwise. And if you put everything in mid-range, you probably should get some functionality.
Right.
That's what he's got.
Yeah.
Now, Ken, does that that far button, that far right button, you had the receive, the transmit, and then you had that, what was it, DSP or something?
The delay, it's a delay.
box delay.
It's not
Right.
necessary.
Right, so that one was turned all the way down.
I'm not getting anything out.
So there's taking that PTT signal
Right. It's just
out
not
of
taking,
out of the USB plug. It's
sig-
decoding it like a sound card, and then you get the PTT level set right, so that when you transmit, it'll automatically key up.
hey, John, turn the transmit up to about 2 or 3 on that signal link. And try it again. Try transmit again. Now try transmit again and watch and see if the radio keys up. Make sure the signal link goes ahead and lights up. And see if the radio does it this time.
And goes without saying, you got to get the jumpers in the signal link box set.
This one wasn't a kit. This one was an actual just purchased signal link.
That's the way mine was. I bought it right out of the box. I said, I do not need the stinking instructions to set that up. So I jumpered it, set it up, and nothing worked. And I worked and worked and worked, and finally gave up before I sent it back. I went back through and read the signal link instructions and set it up the way they said to, and the darn thing worked.
Look, see, the thing is, Ken had it transmitting when he had it running.
And we had it field day last year.
But it wasn't set up as FT8 though.
Yeah, we didn't use FT8 when we were at field day that time,
Okay.
but it had been working previous, and I don't know. And we got receive working,
right?
But you never tried to transmit on anything with that, Mark.
No. But he just tried to transmit and it'll light up the signal link saying it's receiving the signal, but it's not sending it from the signal link to the radio.
It might be worth opening it up and just making sure the jumpers are where the jumper information suggests. I mean, there's no way that should have come out. No way it should be changed, but checking is free. I mean, you look at everything else, when you think you've looked at everything and realize there's something you haven't touched, there's a good possibility that might be where it's at. Might be just pulling the wires out and back in again if they're in the correct place.
Well, we know we know they should if they're plugged in, they should be in the correct place because you had it transmitting.
Well, there's a list of the settings on their website.
I have the manual here right in front of me. Somewhere it says jumpers.
Yeah, it talks about it, but then it also suggests that you can go to the website and look for radio specific settings.
Oh,
on the website.
Okay.
I read that somewhere in here. It's when it's talking about the jumpers, don't do speaker, don't do power, especially. And you really shouldn't. It wasn't anything special. It was straightforward and basic, like their website said. We go back to that.
It uses a Deutsch connector between signal link and the radio, or a cable.
It's a
cable with Deutsch connectors.
It's an 8P8. It's an 8P8C at the signal link. I don't know what the other end is for the ICOM.
What, on the radio?
Yeah.
It's the standard accessory jack plug.
For ICOM.
For ICOM.
For ICOM.
Specific for the radio.
So you can't get it backwards. That's what I was thinking.
I used a jumper clip, opened up the signal link box, and took a little jumper clip and put it in there and touched it to it, sure that the pin that was labeled PTT actually keyed the radio.
Oh.
They have a communication program set up for WSJT on their website.
Okay.
For the FT8 settings.
Yeah, here's the signal links if it doesn't transmit. It says make sure the radio is.
You got to be sure you're looking at USB audio codec on your computer.
That's right.
Essential.
You're telling the computer you want
that's
the
all.
sound card to be the audio codec.
Yeah, he did that. We checked that.
Because he's getting signal. He's getting signal. Radio doesn't transmit, and the signal lights PTT is on. It says be sure the radio is actually stuck in receive. If the radio is switching to transmit but doesn't have any power output, you want to check the next problem. No, we don't want to do it.
There's another tip here on WSJT-X. The power slider on the right side of that program, if it's set too low, you won't transmit.
Aha!
Yeah.
John, turn that power button on the right side of that WSJT up to about
about halfway. Crank it up about halfway and see if
it was already at halfway.
It's already at negative 7.9.
That's probably not it then.
No. Jumper wires, no. It says the radio, if the signal link's attached to your data and you have this problem, you might not be configured correctly. Most radios must be in digital mode when using the data or accessory connection, and the digital mode must be properly set up. Please see radio setup section, page 7 of this manual. So let's go there.
They do also talk about in this setup for FT8 that the signal link doesn't handle CAT CIV control. If you want to use that, then you use a separate cable, which with the radio had a cable, so you can connect it, and then you go in and configure CAT in the setup, and that should allow the program to directly enable the push to talk and then pass the audio on. So plug the CAT control cable in and then go back into setup and select CAT.
Well, that's just it. He had a gray cable and a black cable. He's got them both plugged into radio and he's got them both plugged into computer. But he said under the CAT setting, it was grayed out.
Well, no, that was on the other side.
That's the remote. That's the remote jack on the back of the radio to a USB port on the computer. That's your CAT control.
Yeah, that's already in.
Yeah, and you'd have to look and be sure that.
Well, he said it was clicking, so maybe we can just use that. That might not be a bad idea, Ken. He said when he tested it, it clicked the radio.
It did.
Yeah, when he tested the CAT. So
radio came up,
but it wasn't giving him the option to do CAT for PTT. Lie to it. Tell it it's a Kenwood TS2000.
Oh, I didn't have to do that, but
okay.
But I mean, you could. Somewhere I had a copy of what my settings were on that.
Doesn't like that.
Back when
Doesn't
we
like
were
that?
fighting it over Mark's setup.
Yeah.
They were in. Let me look.
When I hit my test PTT is grayed out, but when I hit test CAT, it lights up the test PTT, and then it works. Right.
It doesn't light up my test PTT.
Okay, so the 718 doesn't like that method.
Weird. I had it working with that. I swear.
Oh.
What happened, Ken? Did you have both the gray cable and the black cable plugged into the USB?
At one time, I had them both hooked up. Yes, at one time, but I didn't have the CAT cable initially, and I did get it to work without it. I'm 92.7% sure.
Well, it should, because it's keying the dadgum signal link. I mean, if the signal link wasn't lighting up for him, but he's got it's lighting the dadgum LED. It's just the signal link's not
carrying it through to the radio.
Yeah.
What if I turn off the radio, unplug the cord from the signal link to the radio, and then plug it back in and then turn it back on? Try that.
Try it. Why not? Reboot the damn thing. Whatever.
Hey, quick question. Are you using the CIV port or the accessory port on the 718?
Accessory port.
If don't quote me on it, if I'm correct, the 13-pin accessory port on the 718 does not have a PTT line.
Oh God, we could check that. That would be good.
The PTT line has to go through CIV. So you might have to use Vox or something like that. Go check. Yeah, if I don't have my 780 anymore, but I think 718 has it doesn't have a PTT line on the ACC port on the 13-pin port.
Well, that would be something easy to check. Why didn't we check that? Hi, Peter.
Hello.
I got your message about the manuals for Thursday. And we need to do a test on 8.8 since Peter complained about the audio on 8.8 tonight. So if anybody's in town.
Yeah, let's do that test. Oh, the 80, it sounds like again, I'm just doing a wild guess. It sounds like a capacitor problem. Hey, you know what?
Yeah.
No,
Didn't
there
diagnose
is
from
a
your
send-
carp.
Okay, I take it back. There is a send port on, it's pin 3. Huh.
Okay, that shoots that down.
I can
Is
help
there something-
that Mark. I'm pretty close.
Okay. Eric's close. Who else is close to 8.8? Who can fire up 8.8 in Norman and do some list? Nobody?
What frequency is it, Mark?
146.88.
Is there
146.88. Man,
is there
everybody's
a
out.
tone for it?
Nope. Well, there's D. Hickman. Holy cow, he's still alive.
Yeah, I've been in the hospital.
Have you really? Look to your left or right, and you'll see, or above you, and you'll see Phil Sennett, who's in ICU right now at Norman Regional. What'd you go for?
I had a bowel blockage and pretty much got to I had to have emergency surgery and all that. I'm just now starting to be Zoom life again. I've been out for over a month.
Let's see. We got a broken leg. We got a bad bowel, and we got a sick Phil. So that's 3 out of the bunch. That's not good.
Yeah. Hey, what's up with hang on here. IFN and all that, because I don't see them on anymore.
8.8's not working, Mark.
Well, you might be a little far for it.
Okay, well, all I'm getting is a lot of static.
I can hit it. I can hear the repeater tone as well.
Okay. So who's listening? Do I have 8.8 on this machine?
I'm gonna key up on it now.
Okay, Peter, you guys, Eric, you guys talk to each other and see if you can, come up with an issue over there.
I'm pretty sure I can't hit it from here.
I'm pretty sure that's kind of funny. There's like half of us are way far away from this place. That's cool.
I'm probably the closest, and I don't have a 2-meter rig handy.
I don't either. I've got one, but
I mean, I could probably walk. Is it still on? No, you can't on the Sparkies.
No, Physical Science Center.
Yeah, I could walk to it from here.
Well, you probably couldn't now.
Hey guys, can I jump in real quick?
Yeah.
Hey Peter, I can hear you, but I cannot make you out at all.
Yeah, same thing. I can only hear your first syllable, and then it kind of dies down. So
yeah, it does sound like a failing cap.
Yeah, as I say, it sounds like a bad capacitor on the audio chain. That kind of
yeah, I agree with you because
Yeah.
I'm getting the same audio you're getting. It sounds like.
So you're getting, like, how long are we talking for the first syllable? Are we talking milliseconds?
Yeah, less than half a second, and then it kind of crumbles into nothing. And even the first syllable is like, it sounds like a audio chain where you have a bad, cap somewhere. And
Well, see, they have that audio chain, that analog
delay line. Yeah.
And it might be in there. So we have a verified issue. Okay, good. Thank you very much.
Yep. Okay. Same thing. I only could hear the first. Yeah.
First. Okay.
You can hear kilo, and that's it.
Yeah. Oh, it's even the kilo is kind of all gobbled up.
Okay. Yeah. That's the same kind of audio I'm getting from you, Peter.
Yeah.
Phooey. Yeah. Michael and I were talking this morning, and I said we'll test it tonight. And
he's got a whole box of those delay line ICs, right?
Yeah, he's got a couple of them, but who knows what it is the right answer. We'll go figure it out. It's the right answer. It could be a piece of dirt or something in a bad connector. Good. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if it get cold last week?
Good.
Oh, did it get affected by the weather? Did it get cold or anything?
I don't think so. Up in that penthouse, it's pretty Pretty decent, and there's a lot of heat in that the elevators and the control boxes and the stuff. But it might have, it might be cold effect, or it may just have something might have heat and cold cycled. You know, they lost power 3 or 4 times over there, screwed up the digital networks, the data networks for us for on the DMR for a while. So
with that weird weather event, that was who
yeah.
knows?
Well, and Peter Laws said that building went up and down a couple times. They had some issues. So
Being up on a roof, who knows? That's who knows how cold it got up there.
Yeah, it's usually they've got a pretty good. They've got a pretty. There's a pretty good heat duct in there. Actually, it's a cool. It's open for the cool. But if the power was out for any long time, I'm sure it's concrete block to the outside wall, so it's not. That's for sure not good. But there's a lot. Well, again, they'd be all shut down. All that radio stuff would be shut down if the power was out.
Hey, what do you know about like Harold? Man, I'm not hearing any of the guys up on 80 anymore. Like that live around me. It's like everybody's off air. You know what's going on? Harold had time to actually play radio a lot, and nobody's. I don't see any of the normal guys. Messing with my waterfall.
Lee, I haven't heard anything about Harold. Lee was.
I mean, even Jimmy's off air too.
Huh. I haven't heard
That's it. Normally, man, I see him on my waterfall, especially Jimmy, since he's less than a mile away. Man, he totally screws up my waterfall when he's playing around.
I'll bet.
So, as I said, I've heard nobody on the air.
Huh.
And I'm only getting just enough now to where I think I'm going to pop in my car and go and do some investigating here soon.
Well, I talked to Lee last night, or I heard him on the net last night.
Okay. So he's up. He's
up and around. He was down for a while.
I heard weather that ice storm took out everybody's antennas. I think I had the only surviving 4 spins. So.
Yeah, because that's what it is. Lee's still down. He doesn't have a replacement tree. He's got the tree. So I know he's off the air. And I don't.
Harold might garage springs. I've always had garage springs on mine up mounted. They're in a tube, and that's what I always have my wire antennas hooked to. So I've always had good luck, even with the weather like that. It'll blow all the way down to the house, and it pops right back where it goes.
Yeah, but when the tree that is holding it on falls, that's the problem.
Yeah, that would be. But
that's what Lee's problem is. I know that because we've talked about that. That connection is down.
So is there any Mac users in this group? Are there any Mac people?
Doesn't sound like it.
Don't sound like it.
Wait, Mike don't you have a Mac, Mike? Mike Richardson?
I do, but I know enough just to be dangerous with it.
Well, that's all Mac users.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, dramatic change, man. I just picked up one of the new ones because Apple's refurbing the first of those. It's a game changer. I'm getting 20 hours of battery life, and I'm running my Flex off of it. The software's been ported over already, so it's working pretty good.
Yeah, I'm a Mac user. Hit me up. I've got a MacBook Pro and a Mac Mini I use all day long.
Okay, my Mac M1 outperforms my i9 work machine.
Nice.
Yeah, I got a Mac 16 for work, and this M1 with 16 gigs of RAM. Shoot, it ain't a fair comparison. I'm talking to you on it now, and I haven't plugged this thing in since Saturday.
Is that a laptop? Is that a laptop?
Yeah.
Mac M1, huh?
Mac M1.
Yeah,
Apple is changing CPUs again. They're going to ARM CPUs. The same thing they run in their phones.
Yeah.
They're basically adapting those over to laptops, and you can't tell. It runs the Intel. I'm playing. Just to give you an idea, video game wise, I'm running Windows games underneath emulation, and it works. AM software, everything I have thrown at it, it's ridiculous how it's decoding it. And that's not even app stuff for it, but I'm running anything I can think of so far. I'm even running some of the Windows audio, Windows ham radio stuff on here, and it's interfacing with the Flex radio on it. And this is the entry level stuff too. So
Cool. Back to the 718 for a minute.
Yeah.
I would look at the jumpers. There should only be 4 installed, and they should be pins 1, 2, 3, and 8 direct across, just straight across. No power connection on pin 5 and power.
What's this?
No power connection, but the pins 1,
Signal
2,
link.
3, and 8. And they also caution that your microphone doesn't get turned off. So you need to turn your mic gain down to 0, or you will interfere with the background noise that can pick up on a microphone and interfere with decoding.
Even if it's unplugged?
No, unplugged should be fine.
No, it was manually jumpered.
what are you hooking it? What are you hooking the signal link to?
718. ICOM 718.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember doing that. I got first started doing a 706 back 2099, 2000. Remember trying to get that stuff working with the sound card directly?
Yeah. Okay. How if the signal link is getting keyed correctly and the radio doesn't key, what's your problem on a 718? Got any ideas?
What signal link says is check the ground and the PTT jumper leads.
Yeah. Does that ICOM have that little dongle that comes out the back like some of the other ones do with everything? So you have all kinds of with the wire to it?
It's got a 13-pin multifunction accessory jack or plug jack.
That's how I've always connected into my ICOM gear. So
well, the signal link has a custom cable that interfaces directly to it, but the jumper settings are they vary with the type of cable and so forth. But that's the only thing we haven't really talked. We talked around it. We haven't looked at it.
Hey, so on the I'm trying to figure out. Hang on one second. I want to push the pin real quick. I hear the radio making the digital noise.
Mm-hmm.
Look when I'm pushing tune. It's the signal link is transmitting right now.
Yay! What'd you do?
But the thing is the
It's 20 hours.
front of the computer, or not the computer, I'm sorry, the front of the radio, is it supposed to go from RX to TX on the icon?
Yes.
Okay. Well, then it's not working.
But how do you know it's transmitting? What are you hearing that's making you think it's transmitting?
It's okay. So before all this happened, when I was receiving, I'd be hearing the tones. Okay. And then when I went to go transmit, the tones would go away and the S meter would show 0. Now that I unplugged the cord and I can hear when I'm doing tune, I don't know, I'm gonna turn this up, see if you can hear it or not.
Yep, that's there.
Okay, so that's showing that it's transmitting.
So you're receiving.
You're receiving because you're hearing noise.
You not hear noise when you're transmitting as well.
If you hear noise in transmitting, you're just basically you're having a monitor mode or something. Are you seeing the audio come from the radio to the computer?
Look, set your meter to power out. Look for power out on the meter for confirmation that you're putting out a signal. When you're in the transmit mode, and if you set 25 watts on your power, you should obviously read that on the meter more or less when you're transmitting.
We're talking on the program itself.
No, on the front of
on the radio. On your radio, look at your radio and set the radio to look at the power out on you. You can select functions on the meter on the radio.
One of the buttons, John, down there at the bottom right, allows you to switch the bottom of that to power instead of the other setting. So you can see the power meter at the bottom.
You can select ALC or power or whatever with that, and then set it to power, and you'll know if you're transmitting any power out. And what power are you setting on? Set your power to about 25.
That's in the menu, isn't it, Ken?
It could be on the, yeah, it could be on the, quick menu.
75.
75 is probably a bit much. 25 is enough to talk all over the place. And people argue all over the place, but 25 watts is a lot on digital.
Yeah.
Okay, now that's does that say power 25 now, or does it say, what's it say, something power?
RF power 25.
Okay, now the meter should indicate a quarter scale on actual transmit when you try to send an FT8 signal out. So you should be able to confirm that you're really transmitting by looking at the power meter.
On the 718, does the little LED go from green to red?
Good.
Good.
718. I don't see an LED on the 718.
You should have, yeah, whenever transmit, something should go red and your display should change.
No.
Or it's
Signal
RX to TX on the screen.
The signal link shows
All right.
green normally until it shows that it's transmitting, then it's red.
Yeah,
And we're getting that.
Yeah, the radio should change state too. Something on that display should
It's
change.
reading manuals. I don't know.
I used to, before my Flex, I was an ICOM guy. I never owned anything but ICOMs. So, I miss them too. I'm debating about getting a 7610 and 7610 as my backup, or a 705 for the RV.
Your brother Ed's talking about a 7610.
Yeah, that's a good rig.
Yeah.
That's what I jumped to. I mean, my Flex setup I really like. So,
And I think with that Win4 ICOM software, you can pretty much.
Yeah, 7610 is perfect because it's got an Ethernet jack on the back of it. I would have, had that been available back, 5 years ago, I would have bought that instead of the Flex 6300.
Yeah.
For remote use. So yeah, once you got that Ethernet, the problem with the 7300 is you have to have a computer running.
Yeah.
So I don't want the headache of that.
Yep.
On the 70, as it's on here, it should be, because the trick with getting the old when you got to wire up one of these rig blasters or whatever for signal links is first get all your audio back and forth. Get your audio out to get the timing, because FT8's so picky about your timing. And then it should be just usually. I've always found if you use the pre-made cable, right?
Yeah, that's proven itself to be
pre-made
incorrect.
cable from Signal Link.
Yeah, that should actually. If you bought the pre-made cable, usually the Signal Link itself's already configured too, jumper wise.
No, it wasn't. Well, it should be now, but it wasn't when I got it. You had to
Gotcha.
you had to put the jumpers. I had to put the jumpers in that little header block. For the radio.
The company, who's the other company? Rig something, or it's the older one?
Rig Runner.
Yeah, not
Blaster,
Rig Runner.
Rig something. Rig Blaster.
Rig Blaster, I think.
Yeah,
that's what I've got. That's what I had for my ICOM gear, and it's sitting in a box for when I get another ICOM. If it doesn't have USB. Because I sold Jimmy that radio. That was my old 756 Pro 2. I sold that one to Jimmy, and I should have kept it. See, I'm to the point now I want a second HF rig. So USB not transmitting. Oh, there's enough that's
Anyway,
right up. That's not good.
The 718 you should be able to see the TX indicator on the screen on the lower left of your frequency display. That should come on, and you should be able to see the power on that power meter.
This. I don't know if I can hold this up. No, that ain't gonna show you. No, there's no power on the power meter, and there's no transmission. The only thing that changes is the RX box goes away, but there's no transmission box.
Yeah, well,
Indicator.
you're not getting there then.
Well, but
you
the
can
RX box
transmit
goes
on the
away.
signal link.
Yeah,
that's
the RX
specific-
box goes away, but the TX box doesn't.
The signal in the transmit indicator comes on the signal link.
Yeah, the red light on the signal link comes on.
Right.
Yep.
Yes.
Yes, but the radio, the TX on the radio does
Radio
not.
is not transmitting. Signal link specifically says check the jumper, PTT and ground in the signal link box.
Yep.
And
That's what they specifically want you to verify. And it's possible being bumped around that the quality of that connection may not be adequate. And it's worth checking it. If you haven't checked it.
What do you do? Take the front
That's
panel
what
off or the
everything
back
is
panel?
pointing at.
Back
Yeah.
panel or front panel?
it looks like the back.
I think
Or
you
not,
slide the box out of it, the chassis out of the box or something. I forget. I keep pulling this manual up. I should just leave it up. It comes apart pretty easy.
Hey,
There's like
Kim, what do you
four
use for a
screws
camera
or
on that
something
thing?
like
Because you got about the best video. For a garage light and all that, you've got about the clearest video. That's pretty cool.
On which one?
Ken's setup, whatever he's doing for his camera and the like for a garage, that's actually clear.
Yeah, it's an $18 webcam.
Yeah, you'd be amazed.
I'm running it through OBS.
OBS, what's
just
that?
to get some control on it.
Open Broadcast Studio.
Oh, okay. It's doing a good job making a filter, using whatever it's doing to process it.
Well, it does allow some video control. It allows you to go in and set contrast, color, brightness. It gives you some nice control over the camera. It's a cool program. I'm just
the camera's not that high
beginning to learn
res.
it.
Yeah, the camera's not that high res, but what's coming clear is like the wires and everything. Usually that is blurred. Yeah.
Yeah, it's showing you more than I want to put out. Yeah.
And your light that's above you is not overriding. A lot of the light would just destroy that.
Yeah, and I've got a big LED, 4-foot LED light over my head. And that's all the light. So it's really not ideal lighting. But the program is pretty cool. And I'm just using their virtual camera. And last night on another meet, I had two computers going because one would only do video and the other one would only do audio. And
How'd you do in that check during the cold? How'd you do out there in the garage in the cold?
I got a 220-volt heater out here and a couple of block heaters that work down to about 15, 18 degrees, 20 degrees. After that, I bail and go inside.
Yeah, I was doing okay. The problem I had, it was me with the post-surgery there was trying to get out to it because I was waiting in snow.
Well, it was never cold enough that I couldn't come out with a jacket and do stuff out here, but I didn't want to sit in front of a computer any length of time.
Yeah, for me, it was just, I got bored, especially there once I got that amp going, it was comfortable in there with an 811H and its noisy fan. Yeah, you actually thankful I had it then.
Turn on the 811 and I have to turn the air conditioner on about 9 months out of the year.
Yep. But during that cold spell, it was like nice and toasty in there.
Yeah, that was just plain crazy weather.
And I was working already, and I was sitting there talking to clients like up in New York, and all. They were just couldn't believe why you're having some problems. And I go, well, imagine late July in New York. All of a sudden, it shoots up to 110, 115 degrees for 2 weeks straight, and it only drops in the 90s at night, and keep it around 80% humidity. And I go, would be our summertime. We would be thinking of, wow, you guys can't handle that. And I'm going, I go, that's the difference. They said, because I got a minute, goes, oh my God, they would collapse. Thousands would die. Yep. I'm going, that's because you're not equipped to handle it. I'm going, that's just, that's the danger, that's just the reality of things. When I put it in that perspective, then people go, oh, that actually makes a lot of sense. So
I spent a lot of my youth in East Hartford, Connecticut, and down in the Connecticut River Valley, it's a large vegetable and tobacco agrarian industries, and 98 degrees, 98% humidity was not uncommon there, which is kind of strange. Down and like I said, tobacco in Connecticut.
Yeah. Well, that's
Yeah.
just how it works. I used to work in New York City for a while, and I couldn't even imagine the subways. Oh my gosh, and that heat. Oh, it'd be 120 degrees down there. Because it gets to be in 100 degrees during a normal year down there. You know, so if it was 110 plus, it'd be 20, 130 easy.
Well, I see somebody else got a new call sign today.
Man. I was planning on having a /AE after mine here next week, but I'm delayed by a month. So I'm shooting for it in a month.
Okay.
I'm doing that. Who's the guy on the East Coast doing that nationwide Elmer or using nationwide extra class right now? Did you hear about that?
No.
One of the clubs out on the East is doing a huge Zoom. I mean, it looks like the Muppet Show, man, with like a couple hundred people on there.
Oh, wow.
On Thursday. It's going through ARL. It's a free class they're doing. So I'm trying, I've been trying to work on that when I could.
Good.
But yeah, my plans have AE, even though I don't know what it's going to benefit me because I never use it. I'll never use those frequencies right now. But
well, good to have. So, Mike, your call sign came in the mail too?
Yes, sir. Brand new.
I looked up and said, "Who the heck is that?" And I looked on QRZ and it wasn't there yet. And
Just
Ron
today.
Ron was on there, same thing. Ron did the same day you did, and he had his kick out this morning. So we got two brand new call signs. Good deal. Good for you.
Hey, we may have a guy out from not Connecticut, New Hampshire, hop on here maybe next week. Before I had a meeting today, we got talking. He found out I was a ham radio operator. He sees in my Zoom view in my office. He saw my Heil mic. He's that a Heil mic? Yeah, 781. He goes, "Oh, you're ham." We had one of those conversations before the meeting, and he was talking about how his ham club is dead and all, the usual thing you hear.
Yeah,
not ours. I said, I gave him all the stuff, and I told him, "Hey, kick in here. We don't care."
Yeah.
I said this, and I told him his Elmer nights are fun.
Yep.
Who was talking about a 705 a minute ago?
David was.
Me.
Yeah, okay. I just noticed that MTC Radio out of Texas is got this week has got some repacks for the IC 705s at great price.
Well, it's a great price, but the problem is I just bought a new Mac.
Don't tell him that.
I just thought I'd mention it. I thought somebody had said something about a 705. There's your way to get one at a good price.
I even have an LDG tuner that was for that that old Flex 1500 that I had. I still have that sitting around, so that's the perfect tuner for the thing. Yeah, that and some wire, toss it over, and that's gonna. I have a feeling that's gonna be a neat little radio. Plus, built-in PSK and all that. So,
yeah, there's a couple.
What's kind of cool is
a couple guys have them, and they love them for that.
What's really cool is like on the Mac, though, like the Mac Smart SDR has built-in FT8 and all that. So for that crowd there.
Cool.
Can I ask a question real quick?
You can ask a question real slow, sir.
Okay, it's nothing to do with this. Is anybody talked to Bill Baker?
I saw a Facebook from him yesterday.
Okay, well, I had his phone number and he's not answering. I don't know if he thinks I'm trying to kill him a car warranty or what, because we hadn't talked in a few months.
Did you start up by saying we've been trying to talk to you about your car warranty?
Well, he didn't answer, so I couldn't even get that out.
All right, your caller ID says scam likely, right?
Yeah. I just wanted to make sure he is okay.
It was yesterday or 24 or 30 hours ago. He put something about the Edmond. He was on a net in the morning, the traffic net in the morning, and talked about the Edmond
tailgate
meeting. And
okay, well, like I said, I just want to make sure he's okay.
I assume that if he was fiddling with that, he's probably just peachy. But I don't know who else has been on. Anybody been on the MacNet in the morning? Is he on that? Probably should be. The 14706.
Is there gonna be any Hamfest this year?
This weekend is Western Oklahoma. What is it? Elk City. It's in Sayre, but Elk City this Saturday morning. And we shut down Oklahoma City this week. Tulsa shut down. Claremore shut down. I have not gotten a word back from Ardmore yet, so I don't know anything about Ardmore. And Enid was, they're going to be November, December, and they're not sure yet is what their story is. Our Oklahoma City one was just venue and not sure who was going to show up, so we shut that one down.
Okay. Yeah, I see that because like on 3916, they're going to hold they hold an annual thing right after Memorial Day down in Branson. Just all the guys on that frequency gets together and they have a little swap and stuff like that. But yeah, they're going with it this year. So
one thing that Sam, who is probably asleep by now, Sam went up to Derby, Kansas and Wichita to get a bunch of stuff. And the Derby Radio Shack guy asked us to publicize their sidewalk sale in June.
Ooh. Hey, Vic.
So
Derby, Kansas.
Speaking of Vic, one of us
Houston-
needs to get our technician license.
Yeah, Vic.
Not have time.
Girl.
Time.
Yeah. She's giving the time excuse.
She's what, ninth grade, 10th grade?
This summer because I have
Ninth grade.
lessons.
Ninth grade? You don't know what time problems are yet, girl.
Oh, no, I showed her my schedule and it's like, yeah, that's
This off.
Before you get stuck with boys, you gotta get your license.
Am I doing?
yeah, she's complaining about tests, whatever.
Hey, Mark, can you send me that flyer on the Derby thing?
I will do that.
I'll give it to Edmund.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I think this year, man, the Hemfest, normally it's overpriced junk or people are a little too proud of what they got. I think this year the Hemfest should be pretty decent because people got a year's worth of junk, sitting there to get rid of. I know I'm in that crowd.
Also, MTC Radio out of Paris, Texas has got a tailgate party the 13th.
13th of June?
No, of March. This month.
Oh, this month.
From 7 a.m. till noon.
See, I can't drive. I can't go anywhere yet. I'm only like a 30-minute. I can do about 30 minutes.
Pryor is going to do theirs. June 12th is their swap meet in Pryor.
Mark, wasn't there years ago just a tailgate or swap meet downtown Oklahoma City, like next in a parking lot?
Oh, that was just a guy that was ripping off cars and selling them cheap.
No.
Oh.
No, don't you remember that? There was a ham swap meet downtown and seemed like
Are we thinking maybe like the farmers market area?
I don't remember. There used to be I don't remember what, every year there was a tailgate downtown Oklahoma City. Used to be been there for years and then all of a sudden they quit.
Used to be one in downtown Dallas.
Well, hey, there's a guy. How you doing, guy?
Yeah, I am a guy.
Are you going to be there Thursday? Are you out on this one?
I'm in class Thursday.
Good. We didn't want you. I think they're at 15 now. 15 students now, I think is what they've got, or test takers.
Wow.
Oh man, that 705 is a good price.
Where'd you find it? MTC?
Yeah, that's actually reasonable.
I told you. See? Gotcha.
I just dropped enough. Yeah, I can on the Mac.
Come on, get Vic involved and we can make it. We can tell her it's her radio.
There you go.
Yeah. Actually, that radio hooked up. You have to take the QRP on that and just hook it up to my antennas. It'd be interesting to see how. Yeah. By the way, man, 80 is starting to come back. We're starting to hear QRP stations are running 20 watts, and the guys are just straight barefoot and actually hearing them like they're and they're sitting there being like S9, and it's nice. The bands are starting to come back.
Yep. John was saying he was here in France. Couldn't talk to anybody, but he was here in France.
It's, as I said, it's the other way. Give it a few more years, and boy, hopefully, I'm hoping for a good run on 10 meters open. I remember that in high school. That was cool. I had a Radio Shack with a 202 or not 2. That was the 2 meter, whatever the Radio Shack 10 meter rig was. On I just cut 100. I just cut one, or what was it? Yeah, just basically cut one of those 102-inch whips. For the center, for the right there. Back then, remember there was even FM repeaters sitting there on 10 meters that in the late 80s.
They're still there. They're just you just can't get to them.
When I was in the Philippines in 90, I'd point my beam over the North Pole, and I could work 10 meters around the clock.
See, that
was awesome.
When was that?
1990.
Oh yeah, that was the good 85 to 90. That was the time, man. That was it.
I was there when Pinatubo. I snagged a Mars 19 element log periodic and tower from DRMO and was going to have it shipped back to the States. I picked it up for nothing, and I had arranged. I have a family member who was chief master sergeant in the airlift business, and he was going to throw it on a C-141 and bring it back, and then Pinatubo buried it.
No,
it did. It was sitting alongside the house, and I don't even think when they packed the house out that they knew it was there. I lost 2 HF radios that just disappeared. I couldn't pack them. I just didn't have enough room.
Oh, man.
I was allowed to bring 2 bags when we evacuated. And two bags, 2 kids, 1 wife, 1 bird, and
what if you left one of the kids there?
Yeah, I'll say kids worth a couple bags, a couple HF rigs.
Yeah, well, I get that. But no, I was sick about that antenna. But I'd go to work. I was an HF radio operator. I'd go to work and get on 15 meters at 10 o'clock at night, point the one of the log periodics at Europe and sit there all night long. 800 contacts on a 12-hour shift.
Wow.
My dad was having a ball. He was my QSL manager. And he says, you're working countries that I've never heard of.
Those are cool antennas just there. Jumpers. Oh, wow. Real jumpers.
I was going to say, those are some weird looking jumpers. Ken, that looks like what I think you said, but that's a weird way to do that.
It's like someone took an IC thing and wow, as I said, these are the literal real jumpers.
That's it. But the bottom 3 are straight across. Then you come up one. There's sometimes with certain radios or with older versions, you had to put the power jumper in, and they don't use it now. So they advise strongly against putting the power jumper in, and it's not showing there. And then the top one is the ground. Second one is the push to talk. And those wires are
pin 3,
loose,
right?
Worked loose or corroded.
I can see that design failing. Yeah.
Wiggle the wire that's on the PTT in the ground.
I can't believe something's got surface mount circuits on it, and they have that.
Well, they sell a nice little manufactured. It's just an IC socket, basically.
Yeah. But we used to call those dip switches.
They have a header. They have a header block that's pre-wired if you can't figure out how to go 1 2 1 2 2 1 to 1 2 to 2 3 to 3, and I would think anybody in in the hobby could probably do that pretty much with their
Okay,
eyes.
I'm sorry, I'm back. I can hear you.
Well, I remember my impression when I saw the 7300 for the first time, and wow, USB for everything. I'm done. I'm not going back.
Yeah. Had a guy stop today. I have got my little 20 meter out in the front yard, and he stopped in and introduced himself. He lives down the street, and he's got a 718, likes DX, but doesn't care a thing for anything digital or anything beyond, you know, he likes straight buttons and knobs, which I understand that.
Yeah.
But
well, I've got buttons and knobs with my Flex. You can do that.
You know, it's there's a certain attraction to that where everything does just exactly what it says it'll do.
Oh, I'm a big fan of that's the thing I hated when I went to that Flex. I got it so I could go remote. And then once I got permanently not where I'm traveling as much and all that, I went and put a Maestro on it so I could actually have the buttons and knobs again. Because I like that, and I hate the compressed radio layouts where you have to hit shift, mod, and all that to get to it. You know, like this, Yays, like the small Yaesus, the small icons. Yeah, I like one that has enough buttons. To me, in fact, my retirement rig is going to be whatever the top, and I'm going to put like what Harold did, but some, one of those big Kenwoods or whatever. That'll be my retirement rig for rag chewing. And the only thing it's going to be set up for is that.
Yeah, I still have my Flex, my 1500 sitting right in front of me.
How you doing with you? Just got that thing recently, didn't you?
No, I bought that right before Ed bought yours. I bought mine like a week before because we found out we were both chasing the same Flex 1500 on
Craigslist.
No, I think it was QRZ or something. I don't remember where I got mine.
Yeah,
and maybe it was Craig. I don't know where it was. And we were both chasing that one. And then you came to the club meeting that next day, like 2 or 3 days later. He said, "Hey, I got a Flex 1500 to sell." And man,
Yeah.
Ed was across the room.
Yeah. I just bought that 7300. Yeah, I bought that 7300, and yeah, I needed to swap the cash out. Now, yeah, that was tighter. Now, if I had that happen, I could just keep the old rig.
Yeah. Well, there's the dip switch. That's what should go in there.
That would work for this radio for a 718.
Yeah.
But some settings or some radios apparently you have to cross jump and.
Oh, I see.
But
I
that
get
would work on a 718. You just close 1, 2, 3, and 8.
Got it.
And plug
Yeah,
it in.
that dips. Those wires, are those wires loose or anything? You can pull them out and see if they look good, and push them right back in. That's what I do.
Without hurting it.
Yeah, they just slide in. Yep.
Yeah, they're just pushed in.
Yeah, pull out that first one and show it up to camera. See if there's any kind of, it doesn't look right, like corroded or something.
I would think it's either number 3 or 8 because that's PTT and ground.
But honestly, if it was corroded, the rest of that board would look corroded. So I doubt if it's corroded.
Yeah.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time that a wire that was being pinched
did something stupid.
Yeah, it's just the basic jumper wire. I mean, I would just reseat each one of them.
I'd pull them out. Yeah, I'd do that. Reseat them. Good.
Sorry,
Make sure
that's
they're
not
smart.
it. But when you do this, at least we've eliminated that possibility.
So that's just I see what it's doing. It's just going straight from there to that 8-pin jack off to the right. And that's how you can be modular by they use the same 8-pin jack there.
Flexibility with rigging it out to all the different radios.
These two transformers are the 1-to-1 transformers in and out.
Yeah. Gosh,
there's your relay in the center. There's your relay in the center, whatever that is.
That's what flips the actual transmit receives, or
that's what's not flipping it. Yeah.
Probably the push to talk relay.
Yeah, that's those 2 wires. Yep, the nice 2 big fat wires coming out there.
The other spot I would check is where that RJ11 is, or whatever that is.
45,
APHC. 45. So make sure it looks clean.
Yeah.
If you have a bent pin in there, that would cause the same problem.
Yeah.
It could. It could. And sometimes in the socket, those wires will get pushed out of position.
I don't know how many computers over the years I've had fail because that got corroded up. That's where it usually corrodes, right there.
Here's the stupid fact of the day. Those 8P8Cs are rated, and what is their mean time between failure rating for those 8P8C jacks? Any ideas? Guesses? How many times can you insert and uninsert them?
About 100, I would guess. Probably not much.
Woo! 200 is the right number. We always would guess like, 8 million times. Yeah, they're not designed to last.
Like the ones on laptops and stuff.
Not in my house.
Yeah.
And that's why I haven't. I just got done a couple months back actually redoing the Wi-Fi for the house. So
yeah, they're only good for 200. That's what their MTBF is 200.
Wow.
And you sit there and you think, like you said on your laptop, hell, I'll do 200 in a week sometimes where, bad week when you're plugging in and out and cursing a lot.
Hey, anybody needs a bunch of like short patch cables?
What do you call short?
I've got everything from 1 foot to 3 foot, in that range. I got some 6 foot. I redid my rack to 10 gig before Christmas. I eliminated a whole 48 port switch worth of, jumpers and all that. So if one of there, somebody it's that, or I'm gonna throw them away eventually because I have no use for them.
I could probably use them. I got a bunch.
What type of pins are on the end of it?
They're 8P8Cs. Yeah, RJ45s.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
I say it was my 1 gig network in my rack and all that. And as I went 10 gig and I used DAX between everything in there.
Yeah.
Boy, that cleans things up.
Yeah.
What did you do with that 48 port switch?
Oh, I've still got, actually I got the old switch. I actually replaced it with I wouldn't unify. So I just kind of replaced the whole stack.
Oh, nice.
I do have a 48 port Ubiquity switch, Edge Gear, that switch that if somebody wants to make an offer, it's theirs. I also have an Edge Router 8. I have an Edge Router
PoE?
8. No, it's not PoE.
Okay.
But I also have an Edge Router 8 that's all of its rack mount gear. So
okay,
I pulled that out because I updated to the new Ubiquity router that I went ahead and did a beta test on it. And
nice.
It's sweet. Well, you ever use Unify gear?
Yeah, that's all I use pretty much for all the wireless gear for all my clients.
Yep. I put 2 nano HDs in the house, or 3 nano HDs on the property, 1 in my shack, 2 in the house, and then basically put a UXG Pro
instead
of the Dream Machine, and then I just run it because then I just run the actual controller in VMware.
Right. So are you running the controller software base, or is it like the cloud control unit?
No, I'm running a software. I've got a vSphere cluster at the house.
Gotcha. So you don't have the cloud control actual unit.
Right. I didn't go with the Dream Machine because I've heard.
Gotcha. All right. I was just curious. Yeah, I may ping you on that switch. I may have somebody that needs it.
I've got that, and as I said, I've got the Edge router. The really nice 8-port Edge router that they made, and I've got that too.
Okay, cool. Pair. Yeah, I may hit you up on direct chat on about that.
Yeah, go for it.
Eric, David's the nutcase that has the Kubernetes stuff that I talked to you about.
Yeah, I think we talked the first time on Elmer night that I joined you guys. We were talking about infrastructure stuff and Kubernetes and whatnot.
Oh, since I last talked, I actually built an outdoor rack.
Oh, nice.
I have an outdoor enclosure that's air conditioned, climate controlled. It's like one of those old telco ones.
Uh-huh.
And my entire rack has been moved. I basically have a 22U built inside of that. And this whole thing is outside. Actually, it survived this weather with no problem.
I bet.
Heck yeah. Yeah, I've got some of those 8-port Ubiquity tough switches up on towers and whatnot places. So they're the Ubiquity makes some great gear.
Yep. And then I love the Unify stuff because man, so easy. Now it's there and it's been up. In fact, I've got a record enough that I contact Cox to show, hey, you were down here, 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 and here. I want a refund for those days because I'm a bit.
Yeah, the GUI they have in the Unify stuff is amazing.
Yeah, and then you take all that and toss it over to Graylog and take it to the next level. That's what I do. So
yeah, for sure. I just got it reporting to my Elk stack, and then I go from there.
Mm-hmm.
David, did you ever finish that DMR or Android Kubernetes 3-piece thing that you were working on?
I actually am close to having it ready to I almost have something that's reproducible. I'm not going to make a Kubernetes. I'm actually going to do a Docker based.
Oh.
So yeah, it's basically
when you want to test.
Okay, everything my whole life pretty much halted for the last month and a half. So
I can't see why. I'm mad.
But yeah, I've almost got it ready to go on it because it pretty much takes all those projects. I'm just trying to figure out a way to keep it in sync. And with the change in I had to modify the code to handle the change now. What they did with you had to change your IDs a little bit.
Yep.
And for the passwords and stuff.
Yep.
And it's so far, right now I've got one sitting as a honeypot out there for people to try to break on the net.
Yeah.
And I've had some people play with it and they haven't been able, none of the hackers have gained control of it. So.
Cool.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. I'll play with it once in a while, but I've gotten tired. I get the old fart on there and tell me how it's not ham radio. I love that. Oh, I had one guy do that, and then another guy said, "Well, what are you talking about, man?" And then he's right along the lines. He goes, "That's actually good." He goes, my dad's going in a nursing home. This would actually allow him to play radio."
Yeah.
And I go, "That's exactly what I'm trying to set this up to be. I want it set up to be real easy. And the hardest thing you'd have to do is set up a Docker setup on your PC and run it, kind of thing."
Yeah.
And then do that. Have an Android phone, and there you go. And if you can find one that has a PTT button on it, you're even better off.
I got my son in right here.
That's what I'm testing it on. So
right
there. Yep, there went a teenager spotting. She doesn't want to be on camera.
Well, she doesn't take her technician test. I can understand why.
There you go. See, she's got her AirPods. So she said, if you understand, you don't want to be on camera if you're not going to take your technician's test. So I tried to tell her I didn't tell her she could actually probably use that for science credit.
I wondered about that. We had another guy, Matt Lewis, the other guy that was there going nuts over your flex that time. He used Morse code as an English, or not language, a language credit, foreign language credit.
Why not? Well, it's just this extra, because I'm going through that extra class. They're actually every week deep diving into the material instead of just memorizing.
Yep.
And wow, I've realized half that stuff I hadn't dealt with because, I got a double E degree in college. I hadn't touched that stuff in 25, oh my God, almost 30 years. Wow, I'm getting old.
You can get a calendar, man.
I only went double E because they didn't have a computer engineering degree whenever I was in school. So I had to be a double E in a comp sci.
I was the first computer science major pulling out of University of Wisconsin, and they said I had to have a minor. So I got a math minor because they said nobody had yet proved that they could make money in a computer science industry. And 10 years, their response was, well, nobody had.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
See, I did the math and physics because why? Take like one more course, and it was an automatic minor in math. And then physics was I hated chemistry, but I liked physics. So.
Yeah, I also hate chemistry and like physics.
Good girl. Tell her to do physics.
Yeah, physics.
Do her amateur radio. We can get her physics credit.
There you go. See, come on.
Chemistry's awesome.
Well, I had a really cool chemistry class back in, I don't know, it was 9th or 10th grade. I found out many, many, many years later that teacher was a ham.
Oh.
Explains a lot.
You know what the weird thing is I run into now? I do run into hams occasionally, but then occasionally I run into like an actual guy, somebody that went to my school. And we'll talk engineering. I go, yeah, I went to a little tiny engineering school in the middle of Missouri. And it turns into Rolla discussion. And I'm like, oh, I've had that happen a couple times in my career. But yeah, just to bump into ham. Like, as I said today, surprised when the guy recognized my boom microphone for the Zoom session. It's like, wow, that was cool. So as I hope he hops on like one of these things because he said his problem is his club's dead.
Yeah.
No new members. It's dying completely where he's at. And I'm going, well, that's sad because ours is growing. So
I've got a guy who is the son of one of our club members at Edmond who lives in Virginia. He's in town. I work with him with WinLink, and he's in town this next Saturday, and he says, hey, do you have an empty siren? I'll take a siren for you. And I'm going, okay, hey, I've got DX helping with a siren. I like this.
Yeah, I guess it will be a couple more Saturdays from now, and we won't hear the siren on Saturday at noon. I guess that's going to come up quick. You hear they're moving hurricane season up?
Yeah, I heard that. I read that somewhere
Oh.
the other day.
Earlier?
Yeah, it's gonna be. They're estimating this year it's gonna be an earlier season, so they're gonna move the season up 15 days.
Oh wow! Last year I'm still doing the paperwork, but we were in Florida in November 12th for that last hurricane. Jeez.
All I know is between that and then I'm hoping. I know I've only lived here 12 years, but every time we've had a hard winter, it seems like we had a hard spring when it comes to storms.
Got a confirmation the other day. I won't say who told me, but said you ain't seen nothing yet. Said you remember the spring of 2009, spring of 2011.
I do.
Look for it this year.
Oh boy, see 2009. I remember that one because we just moved. I bought a trailer and started off that trailer park in West Norman to get started here. And that's when there was the Three Sisters or whatever that went around Norman and they all combined right up at 40 and turned into that F5. But there's like 3 separate storms that wrapped around Norman. They kind of danced around Norman and combined. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's like the movie Twister. That's what's going through my head this is like Twister in real life. No.
Well, he told me the other day that you get ready. Make sure your storm shelters are cleaned out and all set up.
Actually, man, I gotta go check it. Before the storm there, I had a friend down. That's where I had some ammo and stuff. And I actually had mold forming down there, which was surprising, bone dry as it was. So that's gonna be a springtime chore. Yay.
Well, he said that normally May is the big month around here for bad tornadoes and so forth. He said back it up a month.
Like to April or to June?
To April.
Oh boy. That actually that doesn't surprise me. I swear every time I've been here, it's after this is the hardest winter I can think of. Started with, when you count that ice storm, we've had 4 different snow events this year?
Yeah.
And usually we have one and then it goes away in 2 days or something. And we've had 4 that I can think of.
Next week, he said the storm that we get next Wednesday, I think next Wednesday, Thursday, will be kind of the kickoff for type of season we're going to have.
All
The
right.
last snowstorm reminded me of life in Nebraska.
Yeah. And that was only a week and a half ago, right?
Yeah.
Feels like 100 years ago.
I flipped on my air conditioner a couple of days ago in my shack/office, and I'm thinking it was 20 below zero 1 week ago.
Yeah.
Or whatever it was. I'm thinking it was 20 below. And now I'm turning my AC on because it's getting to be 75 degrees in here to 80. Jeez, inside my shack. It's like, oh, great. In fact, yeah, here right now, if I turn on my amp, I'd have to flip the AC on. It'd probably get too hot in there. But at least the nice thing is you can open your door or whatever. Don't have to worry about mosquitoes yet. That's what we got about an hour or 2.
Make sure all your outdoor antennas are anchored down real good.
Yeah, I said mine's done pretty good. I think the tree would have to go for my antenna because I've got the few full size garage springs on each end, and I've done that for 20 years. And every storm I've had, they've done pretty good. So unless the antenna fails, fine. I guess one of those springs finally fail. But they handle as I said, I'll get enough ice and everything to where they're all stretched out and the antenna is almost in the ground. And then, the minute it goes, it all springs back like it's supposed to.
John, I put the phone number for Signalink in the chat for you. I think it's time to call in the troops and say, hey, we don't know what we're doing.
Yeah, if that don't work, I've got some around here. I've got the equivalent rig, whatever it is, sitting there. And it is actually configured for an ICOM with the plugs. So
Mike's taking off. You need anything before you leave, Mike? Oh, he's gone.
No.
He's gone. Yeah, I've never touched one of those. And this is the craziest. Usually it's problems getting into the Signalink, not out of it.
Well, I'm always surprised that is more is learning the art of getting your audio levels correct.
Right.
That's usually the hardest part
I
about the whole
keep
thing.
thinking it's a setting.
It's got to be something on that radio, but
It's a setting.
Yeah, or in the software. Because when I did my laptop here for WSJT-X, I had something stupid that was wrong, and I looked at it, and then brought John over, and John goes, "Oh, it's right here. Click."
Yep.
And just get a different set of eyes on it. But
yeah,
I think it's going to be something stupid.
Yeah, my Flex, I had to learn that because to get the ALC, hardware ALC, whatever it is, ALC, whatever, to my amplifier, when I put that amp in summer, I couldn't figure out how to do it everywhere on it. I tested it where everything's working there you're supposed to be, and yeah, it ends up there's a software switch you have to do per band for a Flex radio to enable it or disable it. Now my weird problem is when the power turns off to the Flex, for some reason my amplifier keys up. Now don't ask me why it's doing that, but but I'm not in any shape right now to be pulling wires or pulling that, so I'm just kind of letting it be. If my wife caught me moving that amplifier right now, wow.
Yeah, that's what Vic's for.
Now, as is so far the amplifier setup's going, I'm definitely don't regret the purchase. That's for sure. Now I just wish I could afford a remote controlled one. That would be nice. Yeah, if I had that, my entire station would be in rural Arkansas now, and I'd be operating here. But I priced the Flex one. That Flex amplifier, oh my gosh, they want $7,500 for it.
Isn't that crazy?
Oh. Did you hear something about Hughes Aircraft or something has bought out Flex or some relationship or something?
No, they did that was a big news about a year ago. Hughes and Flex were going together to do some military project.
Next generation of that military radio, I guess, that they're,
I don't remember the details, but the idea was frequency agile radio that basically was a box that would all be remotely controlled by, headquarters. And then, somebody just picked up a microphone and started talking kind of thing.
What I would love to see a digital, because I've some of my gigs I've had out in my travels is the digital HF. You can run that unencrypted. They could make an unencrypted version of that, and it works so well. Oh, even last summer, seeing some of the QSOs that were going out on that, and they would flip encryption off just do a clear whatever, and it would still work really well with band conditions. I would love to see a standard actually emerge for like HF, but heck, that'd take forever.
Yeah.
The problem with that is that getting all 4 or 5 services to say, yes, we'll take the same radio.
Yeah.
That was when I first went active duty. I spent 4 years in a unit that our job was to enable the four services. And when I say 4 services, I exclude the Marine Corps. The 4 services to be able to talk to each other.
Right.
And I ended up at Fort Benning, Georgia, teaching Green Berets Air Force encryption, and which was a treat, by the way. I actually made a big deal during one of the classes, and it was like, holy crap, I'm teaching Green Berets. And
you just had to go slower, right?
No. And I'll be honest, we went out to the field to play with some of the stuff, and it was a give and take. They taught me stuff, I taught them stuff, and there's a couple of those guys that I can honestly say thank you, because they probably kept me alive in a couple situations. But yeah, it just, everybody had a different style of encryption. Mm-hmm. And when I went to Vincenza, working with the no-fly zone in Bosnia. My radio maintenance guys were Navy. Everything was run by the Air Force, but I had two Navy radio techs that were running all the maintenance on all the SATCOM stuff and the encryption, the modems and all the KGs. Freaked them out one day. We had a shuttle mission up, and I took one of the radios and swapped the frequency to the downlink from the shuttle and killed the encryption. And they're like going, "No, man, we can't listen to that. There's absolutely, wait a second, what's that noise?" That would be the space shuttle.
So it's airborne HF rig.
Well, it was UHF is 259.7. But all of the no-fly zone over there was handled UHF SATCOM, encrypted SATCOM.
This is at Flex. It was with Raytheon and Flex, $36 million to put up 6,000 architecture into airborne radios, and the concept was to remotely operate them.
I know people were all scared the Flex was going to drop their amateur, and I'm of the school of no. They can use the Tesla model. You sell the high end cars, so you can eventually sell regular ones.
Yeah.
If they have a big meaty contract like this, that'll give them time to. They're not going to drop their. I've met some of the guys there. They're the Mac. They're the Apple of the crowd, but the Apple computer of ham radio. But they're all ham radio guys.
Yeah. Flex CEO Gerald Youngbud said, "Stay tuned for more amateur product announcements coming soon." When you spend $36 million, you can siphon off a few guys to go do the amateur side of that.
Well, supposedly there's a replacement for the 67 coming out, or 6700. So maybe that'll finally bring one down within human rates, because you can pick up a 6300 used now for the price of a ICOM 7300.
Can you really?
Yeah, $1,000. Because the hams they're upgrading the 6400, or some of them are doing. Most hams, I didn't see the point of going to the 6400, but man, if I see a 6500 or 6700, I could almost justify it. Because what I run now is I've got two Maestros on there that I use, and so I treat them as separate, but they can run each slice independent. So I use one as for like shortwave listening, or just kind of general receiver, and then the other one transmit, is my transmit side. So as I get more room for more antennas, you could actually run both. You got like a 6500 or especially a 6700. You could treat it two radios transmitting at the same time. How they pull that off, I don't know, but they do it.
Crazy.
Yeah, that two operator, I forget what they call that mode. Two operators, two radios or something.
Yeah.
We could do independent sideband with a couple of our conventional radios. Run 20 kW channels, upper lower sideband simultaneously. One would be fax, one would be RTTY.
Yep.
It would annoy the neighbors around the HF site, but
oh, it's amazing what SDR has done to radio, what it's brought within realistic, what you can do. And as I said, as the skills, as we get another generation of people in, having people in that are where they've been around IT their whole lives, like modern IT. Oh, it's going to be crazy to see what we got in 20 years from now.
Yeah.
I mean, I
was doing SDR radio for, out of Rockwell had a system at Elkhorn, Nebraska in the late 90s. It was all commercial off the shelf. The exciter put out 1/10 of a watt, and our amps put out 4 kW. And it was nice because if we had something go wrong, each amp had 4 shelves, 1 kW shelf. If a shelf went down, we could still utilize the amp and work on the bad shelf. Just had to shut it off, cycle it or pull this shelf out, cycle it, put it back online, and 9 chances out of 10 it was you're pulling the shelf out, putting a new shelf in, and taking it to a bench to work on it. But
do you do HF?
Yeah.
Do you HF now?
Yeah.
You see, like 3916, it's regular now that we actually have guys that'll, whoever's running the net or whatever, they'll actually have SDRs. They'll hop, if they can't hear one guy, they'll flip SDRs off to another part of the country or whatever to, go ahead and, try to keep the net going, whoever they're talking, because we've really do that active on 3916 now once you get on the evening.
Yeah. Well, and I do occasionally, I do the 3905 Century Club. And I run the late net at on 3902 until I moved to this house, because I just, like I said, I've got a 30 dB over S9 noise level on 3900 to about 3910.
We're in Norman. Where you at?
Oh, I'm up in Guthrie.
He's in Guthrie.
Is that bad over there?
No, what it is I rent this house from a program director for a TV station, and there is more IT and not necessarily good wall warts. So I've been here a couple weeks and haven't had the time to yank wall warts out to see which one it is, but I can run 40 meter FT8 all night, not have a problem. But running the nets, I'll bring up the Utah SDR.
Yep, there you go.
And have guys check in from the West Coast via that.
Yeah, see, I put a flex. I got a pixel loop in my front yard. That's what I use to solve my QRM issues out here. So that's worked pretty well. So it depends. Actually, most of the potheads are moved now. It's not an issue right now. So I can just use the dipole and get the better reception out of it. But yeah, once summer hits hard, the pixel loop becomes my main receive antenna. Those they're expensive, but they're well worth the money if you got that kind of issue.
Yeah, and this is I'm positive that it's somewhere in this house, because it's just too strong. I do have a pothead across the way here that I took my Jeep, parked it as close to their house as I could get it in the yard, and the noise actually went away. So I'm pretty sure it's coming from my house.
Well, then you got the old classic there. If your radio it's hard for me because of my radio, because of it being a flex. But yeah, if you're a regular radio, you can always do the battery test.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and during the snowstorm, we were without power for about 2 hours, and I'm going, this is an excellent idea. I can do this. Yeah. And then I'm in, it's 15 below zero. I didn't anticipate the generator working, and the damn generator worked.
Yeah, for me, actually, most of my RFs, and I went to that outdoor enclosure, that thing's actually, I've been able to ground that thing down and isolate. Actually, for me, eliminate a lot of the extra noise I had. And yeah, and the grow lights are gone because the guys that were growing, had a grow operation across me, are finally moved. So, but between all my servers, and that, my noise floor, just because, when you have like a whole entire rack of servers and stuff, good luck.
Well, and I have in the room across the hall from me, I had 2 servers. One has been migrated back up to the TV station. She will use the server here to download content and then send it up to the TV station via internet. And they're transferring that whole process now over to IP. There's not going to be any satellite. So, and eventually all of their equipment is going to go up to northern Oklahoma, because they're moving up there to get closer to the TV station. And I'm going to buy the house from them. I'm renting right now.
So yeah, that's cool. Maybe that can get your antennas in. Is there a tower there where you're at?
There's 2. There's a 60 and a 55 foot.
Sweet.
And that's staying. That stays. So, and I have a 40 foot of roan sitting, laying on the ground. And they're hams. So, they're very, very willing to work with me via the noise. My only issue is that I do have an internet service that's on one of the towers, and it may be their equipment. And if it is their equipment, then they may be a little reluctant to work with me. But they are also one of my customers in the restaurant business. So if I take them food, I may be able to bribe them to. Food is negotiable commodity.
I don't know what
Absolutely.
As it should be.
I'm a catering manager for Jimmy John's.
Jimmy John's. That's one of my favorite places, especially.
It's funny because I've got Edmond police officers that they literally believe that my Jeep is probably more famous than their cars.
Wow.
I'm heading out. I'll see y'all later.
Okay.
Right,
good,
John,
good luck with that.
Did you get the
phone number?
I'm sorry?
I put a phone number in the chat, which is Signalink's number.
Yeah, let me write that down before I leave.
It's in the chat. I sent it to you. 800-822-9722. And it's 9 to 5 Pacific time. So they're open to 7 o'clock at night, our time. Because you got to be some edge case on something. Because
did you try it after you did the jumpers?
Yeah, I did. And still nothing. And I'm thinking, I don't know.
Does anybody else have a signal link that's laying around that we could check change the jumpers in and plug everything in to see if it is something in that box?
Yeah, see, I got a Rig Master Blaster, whatever the heck that thing is. I've got one of those that's configured for an ICOM. So worst comes to worst, I could use that to see if it works.
There you go, John.
yeah, I'd call Signalink first and just say, hey, I got a problem.
Yeah, I'll figure something out this weekend. But I did have one more question before I leave. And that is I'm getting the S9 with no I'm so tired tonight. Sorry. A lot of RFI, I think. What can I do to bring that down?
That's what we were just talking
about. We were just talking about.
You gotta find out what it is first.
15 minutes or so.
You got to find out what it is.
Game. Yeah, the easiest one you could start with is flip a breaker in your house and see if it goes away.
Okay.
And if it does, whatever it is on that circuit. Yeah, that's one way. The next thing you do is the easiest to, then if you do it that, another way you can do is take your radio there and hook it to a 12-volt battery and the antenna, that way it's powered by itself, and throw the breaker on your house. If it goes away, it's in your house. If it doesn't go away, it's a neighbor. And then you're going to have to start figuring other mitigation techniques. That's the easiest way to do it.
Okay.
At least because the odds are you got a bad wall wart or something, or you got a computer in there with a crappy power supply. Who knows? Usually it's a wall wart.
Yep.
Yeah.
I had one.
Wall wart?
Your power supply for like those little wall warts, little tiny, the little thing you plug in the wall.
Transformers are plug in the wall.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have an iPhone? No? Okay.
Why would Siri think that I don't do that?
Oh, ask Siri to ask Alexa what the weather is.
I always like asking Siri to divide by 0. That's hilarious.
I'll have to try that.
Hey, my laptop battery's about done, and so am I. So we'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Take care, Don.
Take it easy.
Hey, John, don't give up. We're going to figure this mess out.
Oh yeah.
We're going to get it. It has to be something simple we're overlooking.
Okay, yeah. What model radio is that again? I'm gonna look up.
718.
718. 718.
One other thing that you can do is there is a WSJT-X Facebook page, and find out if there's anybody that's using what you're using on there, and ask to pick your brain.
This is, you do the search for your radio and signal link, and bam, you get hit with stuff. Just Google 718 and signal link not transmitting, and there's a bunch of people talking about that.
Yeah, I've followed everything that they did, and it came with the same results. I spent probably today and yesterday. Well, honestly, I spent Monday through Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday trying to figure this out. And this is not my forte, so.
Where are you at?
Noble.
Noble? I might need an excuse to go to Kindle's. Okay. See, work on it. If you did by next Tuesday, say there. Yeah, we haven't figured it out by next Tuesday, or you might be able to call me to come down there for, there and take a look, and gives me an excuse to go with Kindles with the kids.
All righty. Well, y'all have a good evening, and we will catch y'all later.
Be safe out there, John.
Take it easy.
We'll do. 73.
Yep.
See you guys. Oh, yay. How many's left? How many's left in the Muppet Show here?
9.
Yeah, I love the Muppet Show mode. No, we had one the other day with work, and we had like 300 people on it. It was crazy.
How you keep up with that if you don't get them all on the same screen?
I don't know. My company, it depends on who it is. There's some that they want you there to be visible, and there's most of the time I turn that stuff off. Today I had a meeting with high levels there, so I just threw my OU shirt on top of the overalls real quick so I can look presentable. And the best part is one of my directors, he lives in Austin, so that prompted good conversation.
I'm sure.
And my boss and I had to get on a video teleconference while we were in Haiti. He's in one tent, I'm in another, and it's somewhat humid and hot down there, so neither one of us were wearing our outer shirt. They were hanging up on the hall tree in the hallway, and he grabbed my shirt, I grabbed his shirt, we buttoned it up, sat down in front of the video teleconference. The distant end was a little confused because Bernanke was on my uniform, and everybody's knowing his name's Mayrose, and Mayrose is on Bernanke, so there was a little bit of confusion that turned humorous.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Plus, I got promoted to chief.
Oh, there you go. Well,
that's.
Oh, that's fun stuff.
Yeah, in Vincenza, the Army promoted me to command sergeant major for a radio show. Yeah, I went to do some advertising for some of the fundraisers that we were doing, and when I arranged for this through AFRTS, somehow they managed to take staff sergeant to command sergeant major, and the guy kept going, sergeant major this and sergeant major that, and I'm just gonna run with this. I'm not gonna correct a guy on his show.
Yeah.
So
can I retire with that? Can I retire with that?
That was but no, it's all good. I joked numerous times, I'm working on a system that's so expensive that if I break it, they're gonna have to promote me to general so I can pay for it.
As I said, the stuff I've seen there, I wish the digital mode would finally standardize, both on VHF, UHF, and then like we start to make the shift to that.
Well, I mean, look at DMR, Fusion, D-Star, nobody wants to speak the same language.
Right. And DMR and Fusion are just a hair off of each other. I mean, they're so close to each other. Just a shift is the difference. And then HF, we could put that in HF world, apply that to HF. That would be wow. But who knows where it'll be in another generation.
Yeah, this in the aircraft or air to ground business, I don't see digital happening. They are, even with automatic link establishment, they have the AMD line, and that is rarely used for any official messaging. I have chit-chatted with
Is that what they use the pilot? Yeah, because I've talked to a couple of pilots doing international. Is that was that the HF rig on the radio on those big planes?
Yeah.
Okay.
ALE or cell call, sort of kind of the same system, different architecture. The nice thing with ALE is that a commander can pick up a phone in his office, call an HF site, plug in the tail number of the airplane, and the phone rings in the cockpit. And even the ALE control heads in the cockpit work as conventional HF. So if they need to talk to give a 2-hour out call, they can still run phone patches through a ground entry point. They can get weather via HF.
Oh yeah, well, analog's not going to go anywhere because digital's great, but it fails miserably. So
yes.
And analog will always, if you can get the gist of a conversation and you can get it to work. But man, any packet errors are getting introduced, and digital's done.
Yeah. I had a Sergeant First Class Green Beret ask me. He says, "We use HF for over the horizon battlefield communications, and it fails." And he goes, "You ham radio operators can get it to work all the time." And I said, "Don't take this personally, but it's because the Army teaches your radio operators what the Army wants them to know and not what they need to know."
Right.
And he literally said, "It sounds like you're volunteering to teach me HF radio." And I'm going, "You got my phone number."
Become a ham. There you go. You learn it quick.
Yeah. I had a master sergeant on an aircraft that is very high profile that was frustrated because he would take off from Offutt Air Force Base, fly right over our head, and call us on our primary frequency, and we wouldn't answer him. And I go, "You're calling on the wrong frequency." And he goes, "I can talk to you on this frequency from Germany. Why can't I talk to you on this frequency right over the top of you?" And I said, "You just answered your own question."
Mm-hmm.
I said, "Where is your antenna?" "It's on top of the airplane. It's going to the ionosphere." And you're right. You can probably call Croton, or you can call Thule, but if you simply drop down to the lowest frequency that we operate during the day and call us, we answer. And I said, "Here," and I dialed the frequency in, grabbed his little handset, called our station, and they answered right up. And he goes, "That just doesn't make sense." And I'm a 4-striper. He's a 6-striper. I don't want to tell him he doesn't know how to do his job. But that is exactly what it was. And when I entered the career field, I'd been in ham radio for 20 years, and I openly admitted to my boss, I says, "I'm a rookie." I said, I know very little about HF radio. I've played VHF and UHF for so long, and in 10 meters was just novice enhancement had happened. his boss came in who was a complete ass, and we didn't get along. And our commander, there was a little tiff between the two of us, and she got in the middle of it, and one of the other supervisors just flat out said, the tiff is because Airman Mayrose, which is me, knows more than Sergeant Jenkins about radio. And Sergeant Jenkins is not willing to acknowledge that and use him as a tool. And you know, Clay openly admits that he doesn't know everything about radio. And at that time, HF was still magic to me. You know,
it still is magic.
Yeah. But you know, I know a whole hell of a lot more about it than I did in 1985 when I joined the Air Force.
I understand.
So,
yeah.
So, you know,
I was digital HF for years. I mean, long time. So that's, you know, that you were talking there when PSK first came out, 31.
Yeah.
That's when I got into digital and all that. And, you know, I played there and yeah. And only until then, let's see, I went into all the remote stuff about 5 years ago. I got into real remote operations. I was traveling everywhere.
Yeah.
And then now I finally made the jump to, you know, amplifier and all that. And boy, every step, man, it's a complete relearning, you know, relearning, reapplying, because I know how little I really know about this stuff.
Yeah.
And then I always bump into somebody. It's like, wow, I'm dumb, you know.
My dad was an HF RTTY guy in Navy Mars, 60s. You know, I was 2-3 years old, and I can remember the old Mod 28s rattling the walls in the room across the hall from me. And when I was 23, 24, I had a Commodore 64 with a little patch that went in the back, and I was running RTTY. And he comes in the house and he says, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm downloading formal messages." And he goes, "How?" And I go, "Using the computer." And he goes, "Wow, this is way too quiet." So I said, "Oh, well, let me make you feel better. I will throw the switch so you can hear the tones."
Yeah. See, my favorite digital mode these days, and I'm a Feldhell guy. I love that mode.
I have not got that to work yet.
See, well, the thing is, it's not a low power mode. When you run it, you need to run 80 to 100 watts. So,
wow. I consider that low power.
Yeah, well, in the ham world, you know, right, 25 watts on most of those modes is more than enough. But Feldhell, you need to actually push. You know, remember it was originally a spy mode.
Yeah,
that was the history of it. It was an old spy mode, and they didn't use. It's very hard to triangulate. And yeah, when you get it working, it's so cool because you got the ticker tapes. You got to use your eyeballs to do it. And when they got QSOs going, it's cool. That's one of my favorite modes these days. And then I did FT8 after I worked all, you know, countries or whatever there in a weekend with FT8. I said, okay, this is fun. And, you know,
I still play FT8. I've got 3-band WAS before I got into FT8.
Yeah, well, that was for the FT8. That's what I described it for. It's fun, you know, to get started playing everything. I call that my beer mode because you can drink beers with that and still have fun and not worry about it.
Okay, 3-band WAS is a weekend now, right?
Well, according to FT8, I mean, I've got to do the paperwork to get WAS for digital, but my next goal, I'm about halfway to WAS on CW mixed, and then I'll apply for the triple play award.
Yeah. Mark, you remember a couple of you know, whatever I got at FT8 of like 3 years ago, or whatever, when it first was coming out and all that, and I had the dual slices working. I was running multi-band at the same time.
Yep.
Yeah. You know, I've seen guys with like the Flex 6700s running all 8 slices at the same time. Oh, is that a CW key? That's cool.
You guys have a great evening. I will catch up with all of you later.
Okay, 7-3. We'll see you next time.
Yeah, be safe out there.
Okay.
See you, Mark. Take care.
Mark, you stay out of trouble.
I will try. I don't know if it's possible, but I'll give it a try.
Okay. Catch you guys later.
Yeah, I'm gonna cut here, man. I finally can actually not have a therapy thing or whatever. That's what I've been out for. As I said, I've been finally starting to come back to humanity here. So,
How much more do you have to go?
For recovery,
Yeah.
because I've had previous surgeries and all that, they don't want me doing anything real and for at least 6 months, 3 to 6 months.
Wow.
And they had me do it. Well, this time around, I didn't go out of my house. I pretty much didn't leave anything for the first month after because they did not want me to risk any kind of any exposure to anything, colds or anything.
Yeah.
So I didn't.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's doing good.
Coughing after that surgery sucks.
Oh yeah, actually, what's real fun is to be at Norman Regional under COVID protocol. Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, 5 days in there straight, and they're in the main unit, and no visitors and normal nurse response times. Yeah, I recommend it. Not. So, okay, I'm alive.
Yep, you made it.
Doctor was. Yeah, I ate my mother-in-law food, had a really bad stomach ache and all that, and then I kind of, did it and went back to my normal routine, but it would never go away. So there, a few weeks into January, I was getting to dominate my life. So I pretty much had to figure out what's wrong. Doctors told me, this is how a lot of men your age die. Is if a heart attack doesn't get you in your late 40s, something like this will, because you'll ignore it and keep on, antacids and all that, and next thing you know, you're septic.
Yeah.
I was probably a month out from that happening, from the looks of it. So it's like, wow, just things got twisted up in there. What do you watch? What are you putting on video then? What is that?
W5KUB's roundtable. He's doing a balloon. I had him on we're doing a balloon class at OU with Dr. Hayes, and we've got 4 students that are going into that capstone, and we're building balloons that are going to go around the world.
Did that again? That was cool.
And
that's what's so cool about this hobby. There's so many different
this is the guy that launches those balloons. He was I had him on a Zoom last night with the kids, and he said today he was going to build this morning he was going to build up his own balloon instead of buying a balloon and sealing it. So I was just curious to see what he was how it was going to come out for.
He just used Mylar?
This is Mylar is what he's trying this time. Yeah. Or that's what he's building them out of. Yep.
As I said, this was so cool about this hobby. There's so many aspects to it.
Oh, I know it.
And I got a friend of mine, he's getting ready to finally, he can do DMR. He became a ham and they use HF. He lives up in a mountain in Montana, 7,000 foot elevation. And he's getting Starlink in a month. As soon as everything thaws out, he's going to be the first of the North America beta testers in that group. And because he's only an hour from the Canadian border anyway.
Yeah, they've got a bunch of them up and running up there.
Yeah. Oh, he hasn't gotten it yet. Once it snows in like this, he doesn't get off the mountain until spring. Yeah. He can't, because it'd be 8 hours of snowmobiling for him to get down, and that's they only do that in emergency because it's too dangerous. So because they have the real problem like wolves and everything else.
Yeah.
So, but he was talking about but he's planning on as soon as he did, so we can sit there and do DMR back and forth. So it'll be interesting once he can do it, because boy, talking about there's a perfect example of when digital screws up is trying to dock VoLTE now with Verizon. It just scrambles so bad, but Signal Link works great. So go figure.
Yep.
Face AUV. This is cool. You launch them from here? Do you launch these balloons from? Where do you guys launch them from?
We're going to launch these. So probably we're thinking about Lloyd Noble area is what the current story is. I don't
parking lot or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was a couple hams that were doing weather balloons quite regularly. There was a group of ham radio operators that chased them. They were high altitude, but they'd only travel a couple hundred miles. We'd chase them into Arkansas.
Well, what was it? This last year, you guys were doing the one, or they were doing the ones there that was going around. See how many times loop around the world.
Yep.
Which that was pretty cool.
Tom's done, I think, 20 so far. And I think he's had 3 of them go all the way around the world. One of them did 3.5 loops.
Oh, I just know, man, depending on the country there, because I was sitting in Dubai and I had that Maestro with me, and boy, they swore that was a transmitter. Oh my God.
Yeah, I had
Oh.
problems with a handheld in the Philippine government.
Yeah, I bet. I
yeah, it
purposely,
was-
when I went out there, I didn't want to do anything that looked like a radio, but I brought the Maestro, and yeah, they thought it took a while to finally, but it delayed my thing to go back to Kuwait. So, and see, in Kuwait, they didn't care. So it's interesting how different each country is a little different.
Yeah, I didn't have any problems with my VHF, UHF stuff in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, I thought what was interesting was in like the internet differences, because like Kuwait, internet's great, but Dubai, oh my God, that was horrible. Oh my gosh. And then,
You would think their infrastructure might be a little better.
Yeah, I wonder why.
It's
But the
so
prices-
oversubscribed.
Yeah.
Oh, well, a lot of it's see in like in Dubai, you can't compete with like VoIP is illegal to this day. You can't do VoIP.
Yeah, because you're taking money out of their telecom system.
Yeah, and so then they're required to block VPNs. You have to get special permission to do a VPN, because when I was working out there, I had to get a special permit to operate so they would to get the hotel to let up for my IP, so I could have VPN access. So I could work from the hotel and not go into the office when that needed.
So they'd actually block you on that port?
They're required to. They actually have software in place like Palo Altos to block.
Yeah. It's like a watch guard.
Yep. So I had to get a permit to actually do it. It was expensive for, I think, because it was just Eid. I worked because we were doing, it was Ramadan and all that. And then right as soon as I could get down there for Eid, I went down there. And then I decided to spend a couple weeks down there before I went back. Because I gladly paid Anakin.
Yeah, I would have too. I did some
Oh,
work.
it was-
I did some work in Syria. I can tell you all about that.
Oh, I thought what was really hilarious was we were sitting there. I found this knockoff Buffalo Wild Wings place out in the middle somewhere out there in Dubai, and I'm sitting there, and the World Cup's going on, the final play of the World Cups. And it was so funny. I'm sitting there drinking a beer, eating some wings and everything, minding my own business. And this guy comes up to me, and he just audibly goes, "You're an American, aren't you?" That's not the thing I want to hear. And
yeah.
But he goes, "No, don't worry." And he goes, "I got a bet with my friend over there." And I go, "What?" "Oh," he goes, "You're an American." I go, "Okay, how can you tell? You're not excited about the football." "Oh, you mean soccer?" And then he goes, "Yes."
Yeah. You mean football?
Yeah, football. But then I go,
Football.
You mean soccer? And he goes, he made a bet with the guy for 100, whatever it is out there.
Yeah.
That not only when I'm an American, but I'm going to call it soccer, not thinking about it.
Yeah. You got a reference of it as football.
Yeah, he took care of me for the rest of the night on beer. It was hilarious.
Oh yeah, I remember, man, in Syria, you're in tactical gear trying to do wiring in a data center.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Think about that. At least you're not sweating too much, because at least the data centers are nice and cold.
Yeah, I was on the civilian support side, so
Okay.
little different.
Yeah, I won't say much more than that.
Yeah, I understand. It just gets me. Got me out there was everyone when they complain about out here and everything, and I'm going, you want to see a true class-based society? Like, go out there, spend a little time, just there and mingle around. You'll see, that kind of thing. Because that's what got me was seeing real social classes, that kind of thing.
It's hard to do work with fiber when you're in full tactical gear.
Oh yeah. Oh man. Speaking of fiber,
little show and tell. Here is a piece of a Scud missile that fell upon Riyadh, Saudi Arabia while I was there.
Joy. Was that a nail?
That's crazy.
No. I had a plaque that it sat on, and the plaque did not did not weather the remainder of my Air Force career well.
Oh man.
But yeah, I was sitting in a Humvee. I had a buddy that was in another Humvee when the Patriots went up to go get this Scud, and we were kind of complacent because the alarms were going off an awful lot, and they hit one and it come right down on the main gate, and
that's nuts.
that hit the hood of the Humvee.
Oh man.
Yeah.
And I got a buddy. He went over. One of my college friends. He was over. I forget whatever the crew he was on, one of the helicopter crews, and going back and forth. And he came back. You know, he never talks about his duty at all ever. And he was just visiting over Christmas, and we went into the what is the 45th museum up there.
Yeah.
And he went pale in the room, wherever that huge Chinese anti-aircraft gun they got in the modern era.
Yeah.
He just went pale and just there. It was just, he instantly said what that thing was and everything. It was like, wow, I'm his best friend. He's never mentioned a word about it to me, you know, that kind of thing. So I can only imagine. So yeah.
Yeah. That's usually unspoken.
Yeah, well, as I said, we were going to the whole museum because we were digging it. That, you know, I go there a lot. I love that museum. I'm a big 1911 fan, and boom, there's like over 100 of them in there, kind of thing. But yeah, he went in when we finally got to the modern side, and because he went, but when he came over there the last time he came back, he's a different guy, kind of end of divorce and everything, just different person. And he's never, even the most alcohol induced, whatever they were partying or whatever, we're too old for it now, but never talks about anything.
Yeah, I think when you experience that like firsthand, it really changes you.
Yeah,
for sure.
And I got to see that with my best friend. I'm like, wow, I could only imagine. But as I said, this winter one, when he went in there, just instantly that thing, wow. Yeah, he named it just instantly. It was like, whoa.
I'll just put it this way: I've seen some things I'll never want to see again.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Well, me as a friend knows cool, dude. Well, you ready to go, man? Kind of thing. It's like,
I have a girlfriend that wants to go on Western Caribbean cruises, and I spent a couple wonderful months in Honduras and Nicaragua, and I'm going, no, I see you can go by yourself. I've been there. Don't really care to go back. I don't care what the tourist season looked like.
I was funny as my little girls, this is 4 or 5 years ago. But yeah, one of the ladies at church was asking me to bring back some burqas so the girls could wear it at church or show it thing. And I'm like, nope.
Yeah.
And she's like, what? And I was just dead serious. No. And then I explained when I got home to explain what that really meant and everything.
Yeah. Do you know what it takes to get that over the border?
Yeah. Oh, well, there was not just that. There's no way I'm putting my daughters in it. No. Sorry.
No, not at all. But at the same time, too, you're taking they consider them sacred. So
yeah,
it's part of their culture.
Yes,
like
exactly.
Walking out of the country with a chunk of the pyramid.
Exactly. Yeah. You're leaving with their history, and they don't want you to.
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, it was interesting there, but when I got back on, I was like, no. So yeah, but other.
Yeah,
it was interesting. Hey, at least I got. Too bad we didn't have this back then. I did manage to get my radio because it was interesting. I was able to get on 3916 a couple times from there, And the weird thing was how the latency, how much of the latency introduced into it from the internet. But I got it to work. Now this stuff though, Zoom, I bet it worked pretty good because I talk to guys in India all the time on it. And how much the stuff's improved in a few years.
Yeah, it's with AWS, it's gotten a lot better.
Yeah, AWS is I'm actually doing a project right now, and I'm trying to resolve an S3 bucket issue.
Oh, well, ping me. I'll let you know. I'm AWS certified.
Yeah, we're building I work for Netscope. Have you ever heard of them?
Yeah.
And we've got an introspection module that it's not counting the files right, and I'm still trying to figure out for our client why. So he's got hundreds of thousands of objects in there, but when we scan, we're only seeing like 30. But
is it cold storage or hot storage?
It's hot, but the difference is I think we got the wrong tenant because it's a GCC high tenant. And I think it's an API conflict between the civilian one and GCC High.
Most likely, yeah, you don't have the access you need.
Yep, that's what I've got to do the finally thing on there because I'm still cleared, so I get some of that stuff to work. And that one is that's API. I figure it's an API conflict, but I haven't gotten a chance to go. It just landed on my desk today.
I'm willing to bet you are on to something.
I'm gonna pull out Postman or whatever that thing is and sit and just do a couple things. Go, yep, that's it. Okay, we're done.
Yeah, you can run a few tests and find out, but yeah, that's most likely what it is. I'm sure you're getting blocked there.
Well, I think he's trying to access it on the civilian side, is trying to go through, and the API on there is going.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Something's blocked in the API, I'm sure.
Yep. And the fact that I'm impressed with what I need to figure out is why it's even getting the number at all. That's what's interesting.
Yeah, the fact that it scopes it and doesn't determine what it is, or translate it for lack of terms.
It wouldn't surprise me if it's getting an API error and it's counting the errors. Because that might be. It wouldn't surprise.
I would not doubt that. I would not doubt that. Yeah, there's so many moving parts in AWS. It's ridiculous. So
you run an elk stack in your house?
Not in my house. I run it at the shop in the lab.
Okay. Yeah, I finally got Graylog going here. I finally got a decent one. When I found out you can do free threat hunting with that.
Yeah.
I got that all running and turned in. I'm like, wow. Yeah. I run a little vSphere cluster at the house and all,
Nice.
I got a scary electric bill.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's why, I was kind of curious about that switch. That's why I was asking. Is it PoE? Is that one of those 700 watt 48 port switches?
I wouldn't get rid of that. See, I've got a couple cuff switches I use. Those are great. The little 8 ports, those, man, I don't think you can break those things.
Yeah, I used to think that about Cisco gear.
Unify, the problem you get with Unify is they like to push beta stuff out a little too quickly.
Well, they give you the opportunity to upgrade a little too quickly. You know
the story. You know how that company formed, don't you?
Yes.
Ex-Cisco guys, some ex-Apple guys. They basically wanted Cisco level equipment.
Hence why you get. Yes, hence why you get the equipment and the GUI.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But the cool thing about that is never, because that's one of the company models they will never charge maintenance.
Yeah. Well, I still love the fact that I can, utilize all my iOS skills in the Ubiquity, when I console into something,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I can still use that same, CIOS that I could use,
Well, they're phasing that out.
Yes. Oh yeah. but trust me, I'm working with still so many old school 4507s and 4509s,
Mm-hmm.
like you don't have that option.
Well, I went with this up here. I went with this UXG stuff to get 10 gig stuff because where I'm moving to Arkansas. Get this, out in Arkansas, 30 miles from town, 20 miles of dirt road, kind of a place. They have gig fiber.
See, you got to be in heaven.
Yeah. And my data center, I already got a business account already set up there, my in-laws and everything ready to go. Nice. It's all ready to switch and everything. Nice. So I went ahead and updated switch. My router was starting to give me issues, so I said heck with it, and that's why we Unify on a little bit early. So heck with it, I went ahead and dropped the money to buy their next generation of the gateway.
Yeah,
and holy crap.
The only 10 gig stuff I've worked with has been Cisco Nexus stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't really utilized any of the Unify stuff yet because I don't even know if they have the Unify platform integrated yet into that. Do they?
Yeah.
Okay.
They now have it too. They finally just about a month and that's why I went ahead and upgraded to 10 gig. So it was right before Christmas.
Okay.
They have a $220 8-port 10 gig switch managed.
Nice. Yeah, I'll have to check that out. I've been so just engulfed with craziness after all these power outages that even the biggest UPSs that we have are not uninterruptible.
Well, the way I've got mine the way I set up my outdoor rack is I've got thermal controls on it, and if it goes basically I try to keep it around 30 Celsius inside the case, and then if it hits 40 or 41 Celsius, the power is cut to the UPSs. And then the UPSs do their proper shutdown. I got one UPS for each side of the rack. I got two circuits going into the rack.
Right.
And then that way, and you've got a 60-second timeout for something to happen. If there's something, and then that just goes ahead and it powers the rack down. But the one difference is I've got it set not to auto restart.
Is that a full rack, like fully populated, or is it half
42?
rack?
It's a 42U.
Okay, so it's half rack. Okay.
Yeah. Or
Gotcha.
not 42U, 22U, half rack.
Okay, so yeah, it's a quarter rack, I guess, because
Yeah, 42 use a full rack.
That 42 would be a full rack. Well, I'm thinking of high base ceilings.
This is one of those units you see them for like a cable. You'll see like if for your cable for your entire block or whatever. This is where they put all the equipment in for the cable, and then it's got an air conditioner, basically a little like 6,000 BTU air conditioner on the side of it.
Gotcha.
And
gotcha. Yeah. So you're utilizing a lot of those U's for like punch downs and whatnot.
Yeah, well, I ripped all that out and put a modern rack in there. Modern rack, so I get the squares.
Gotcha.
And in fact, I'm gonna get me another one of these because eventually my ham station I'll put in Arkansas before we move out there is I'm gonna put my flex out there and everything else. And I may I'm thinking about getting another one of those and build it out because this simplifies.
Man, you got gig fiber.
Yeah, well, that's where the rack's going.
Yeah, do what the hell you want to.
But Murphy dictates. I can't do that until I'm out there because I'm not move my service because Murphy dictates that something's going to malfunction, and I'm not walking my 85-year-old mother-in-law through swapping a hard drive, identifying it, and popping it. No.
Yeah.
My wife can do it. My wife's been trained to do it over the years. She knows how to do it. You know, because it's rare. Because I run a 64 terabyte NAS. So.
Okay, well, you're like, you see the one with the orange light flashing? I need you to pop that out.
I wish it was that easy. No, mine you actually have to figure out when it's doing the ZFS syncs, the one that's not blinking.
Are you running a SAN like via iSCSI or?
Yeah, I got iSCSI.
Yeah.
I'm running iSCSI to the free I'm running FreeNAS, and then I run
iSCSI. So you're running the FreeNAS basic because they migrated to a new company or they got bought out by a new company.
They still free TrueNAS.
Right. Well, the basic core is still free.
Yeah.
But if you want to use any of the like data center stuff, you have to pay for it.
Yeah, it's still a lot of it's in there if you enable it. But I've been running for that same ZFS pool. I've been running. I started in Solaris in 2005.
Oh damn! Yeah, you. Jeez.
Yeah, and that pool has been pushed all the way up to this day. I'm running that same pool, but it started off with 2 terabytes out of 6 500 gig drives, and today that's 4 sets of 16s.
Yeah.
Now that's the same modern setup, but it's just sitting there that way.
Yeah. Wow.
And now I figure out how to store everything in Google. So now I'm quietly pushing it all. And in another 2 weeks, I'm going to have all like 50 terabytes transferred over to 2 different Google spots. So
have you looked at, are you just utilizing AWS? Are you utilizing GCP as well?
Professionally or for home?
Well, for both, either way, like Google Cloud Platform or Amazon Web Services, either one.
I use GCP because if you set up now with their workspaces and all that, you can actually back into GCP and it's unlimited storage for free for as part of that.
Well, cold storage, right?
No, hot.
Really?
It's a little secret.
Wow.
And dude, your only limitation on it is 750 gigs a day of API access of upload.
Okay.
Upload.
Well, I'm not going to ever exceed that.
Yeah, that's the limit. That's the hard limit on it. But download, you're unlimited as long. Yeah, and it's $30 a month per account.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to check that out because, like I said, I've been utilizing AWS. Well, I've also got a bunch of like free access as well from doing beta testing and whatnot. So, I utilize that for personal use.
Well, before I'm getting certified right now in AWS, I'm working my way through it. And before that, all I did was Lambda, so I could rewrite my Alexis.
Oh my God, I haven't heard that in forever.
Well, I've got Lambda going there because to play some of my crazy conspiracy theory stuff there, like Alex Jones, I basically got to do in my house is just say, hey, open he who must not be named, and it stops and says playing Voldemort radio, and then it flips on InfoWars. That was my first attempt at learning Lambda.
Yeah, And what's the other guy? I can't remember his name. It's not George Norrie. It's the other guy. That's crazy.
Art Bell. Art Bell's
No.
good.
Art Bell was old school. It was George Norrie that came after him.
Right.
And then you're talking about InfoWars, which is completely a separate thing. I'm trying to think of the other guy who's out of like Portland, Oregon, or out of Salt Lake City, Utah. Oh man, I can't think of his name. Anyway, InfoWars. Oh, no, it's not InfoWars. It's that's what you just said. It's oh man, I'll think of it. I'll get back to you.
I was like listening late night on 80 meters. See,
Yeah,
I know who you're talking
totally.
about. 'Cause it sounds like basically you're listening late night on 80 meters after the alcohol has been flowing for a couple hours.
Right. That's usually what it seems to be. They cannot seem to form sentences.
Yeah, I love listening to those guys. Those are fun. You
They
listen
crack me up. They crack me up because they can all communicate somehow. Maybe because they're all drunk. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, hear that. Then unfortunately, then you get the lids, and then you get somebody disagrees with somebody. Then the jamming starts.
Oh yeah. Then it's just everybody talking over everybody.
You got that. But you know what they're doing now I'm seeing on 80 is they'll flip to upper side band.
Right. Yeah, I've
and
seen
the other
that.
guys are too drunk to realize it.
Yeah.
So the jammers now aren't interfering with you. You can speak. You can listen to them perfectly fine with all the jamming going on.
Right.
It's hilarious.
Yes.
That's gotta be bad if you're trying to jam somebody and you're so drunk that you don't realize that the upper side.
Oh man, that's good stuff right there. I'm gonna have to listen for that for sure because I want to check that out. I'm usually not up that late, so it doesn't matter.
Well, you got HF set up, I guess.
I got a little bit of one, yeah.
All right, I'm on 3916 usually to about midnight or 1, and then I drop down to 3868.
Okay.
That's the fire marker, which is usually locals, and then it goes wherever the band opens to. But I'm usually between those two. Or if you hear a real loud signal on it, it'll be one of them, because there's a bunch of us in East Normal within a couple miles, actually about a mile of each other.
Yeah.
And we're all HF with amps.
Well, I need a relicense again. I got I relicensed on my technician finally after I initially got licensed back in '94. And then it expired because, I went on to bigger and better things, girls in college and such. And then let it expire and recently got relicensed again. But I'm going to go through the licensing thing again. And I do still have an HF rig. So
get licensed this time. Don't stop. Just go all the way to extra and call.
Yeah, I will. I'm not gonna flake out and be lazy again. Well, I guess I really wasn't lazy. I guess I was preoccupied.
Yeah, I got licensed when I was 13. Original novice. Actually had to go to the FCC in Kansas City to take it, and that was 1983. Yeah. So.
Gotcha. Yeah, it was 94, I think, when I first got licensed, and I was 14 then. So yeah. Well, or 13. Cool well, let's see. Yeah, that would be 13 because I was born in 70.
You didn't have to do code tapes? Did you have to do code tapes?
I did, but then right before I actually took my test is when they passed didn't need the code requirement.
Well, I was on a plane like 4 years ago and on a Southwest flight and got talking to the guy next to me and all that. And he goes, we're both ham radio. We got talking and it was Gordon West.
Really?
Yeah, he got home and sent me a mail. I told him I got my Radio Shack tape still sitting at the house and all that.
Oh my God. Yeah, that was my first, I think my first 2-meter radio was one of those old school Radio Shack 2-meter radios.
202s.
Yep.
Whatever. Yep. Beautiful.
And then I think I upgraded to like a Kenwood TM742, and then I had a 733 for my mobile, and then
my first rig was an Icon Micro 2 AT.
Nice.
God, you guys are young.
Yes. Yes, we are. We are young.
Hey, Gordon West is going to be doing a presentation for us in, I think March, or I think May, if I remember right.
All right, well, I'm going to have to jump here. My battery, this is my first. I've been trying to kill this battery since Saturday on this laptop. That's how good these M1s are getting.
Hey, man, I really like to hear that because my MacBook Pro, I've actually been running on for the past 2 days, and it's just now getting down to about 15%. So
I am 19 hours, and I'm now I have a 10% battery. It says 30 to go. It's still in calibration stage, but I'm about 19 hours of use on this thing.
And that's Saturday. The new M9 processor or whatever?
Or the M1.
M1, I'm sorry.
Apple, if you go in their go in their refurb, all those guys that were doing testing on them and bought them originally, a couple months back.
Yep.
I got a 16 gigs with 2 terabyte and 15. So, and this is a MacBook Pro, and I'm going, this is my 5-year laptop. And if it really something crazy better comes out in a couple of years, I'll sell this for more than what I paid for it.
That's kind of what I thought when I bought this one 2 years ago. I was like, this is going to be my 5-year laptop, and here it is, and I've not had a single issue with it whatsoever, other than, I'm doing some beta testing with Apple, so I've had a few issues here and there, but other than that, running pre-releases of Big Sur and such, everything else has worked pretty good.
Well, this ARM CPU stuff that they got on here, and what's so cool is the most of the commercial ham software that's out there have all recompiled as universal. So yeah, smart.
Are you running a VM to run a lot of that software, or are you actually running it natively?
I'm running Smart CD, the Flex Radio's control software natively. I'm running the JT. I don't like the FT8 that's built into that, so I actually am running that through the Intel binary for crossover, the translation for video games. I'm using the Intel binary, and it works.
Wow. Okay, that's good to know. All right, cool. Well, I'm gonna check it out for sure.
Yeah, it's the M1's way to get. There's nothing wrong with it. It's a great. As I said, they're flipping, and they're not going to be making any more Intel stuff. So
yeah, I just don't feel like at this point I really need to upgrade it all, because I bought this Mac Mini.
About 3 years.
Yeah, I bought a Mac Mini and a MacBook Pro like 2 years ago, and they're solid. So
based on the last time Apple did a CPU change, which would be 15 years ago or whatever,
when they changed to the Intel compatible,
when they switched to Intel, you had about, after the Mac Pros were fully converted over in production, you had about 3-4 years of full support, and then they finally, so you probably got a good 4 to 5 years. Yeah, I wouldn't worry about it.
I haven't had any issues either. Well, have a good night, evening.
Yep.
Why not? I will see you later. Nice talking with you.
Yeah, I'm actually glad I can do this. Yay! So.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got your call. KD, what is it? KD5HH?
Kilo 5 Delta Hotel. My email and everything's on QRZ.
BHH. Gotcha.
K5
All right, cool.
BHH.
I'll shoot you an email.
Okay. So cool. I'm waiting. I'm trying to kill the battery on this thing. I want to push it down to the 1% so it'll go into recalibrate, the full calibration mode. So, all right. See you later, man. I'm out of here too. I guess we're only down to a few people left in the Muppet Show anyway.
Looks like
Mark's
it.
Still there. Mark's got something going on his desktop. There's a few people.
I went to unmute my microphone and found out that the mouse on my desktop does not work well on my laptop. I've been listening to you guys, so.
That's why you gotta get one of these MX. You gotta get the MXs, man. The text, you got the magic 1, 2, 3 button on the bottom.
Well, I may end up doing that because I'm planning on migrating all my ham radio stuff over to a separate computer.
Yeah. Well, like MySpace though, I've been running these MX Masters since they came out, and I'm on my second one now. That's for this new laptop. I'm still running the original one from 6 years ago out in my office. Beautiful. Those things, best mouse made. And for the money, you can't go wrong with them. Especially the best part is they support 3 devices.
Works for me. It was funny because when I made the move, my son helped me, and I said, okay, all the computer stuff goes into this box with all of the computer stuff. Mm-hmm. And somehow my mouse did not end up in that, and so I get everything set up, and at 10 o'clock in the morning or 10 o'clock at night, I end up having to run to Walmart to find a mouse so that I can make sure that everything's working.
Yeah, I do recommend having a separate Windows. In fact, I'll build another one out here, a dedicated Windows machine. I got a Windows VM I use for a lot of stuff, but this here, I'm just playing around with it, I have a dedicated computer for my ham radio stuff in the back, and that's the only thing I run on it. Maybe some surfing, but it serves no other purpose in life but that. So that way I don't, I just want that. Ham's supposed to be fun. I don't like doing IT support for my hobby. It's one thing if I'm trying to build something out or play with an experiment or something, but if I just want to sit here and do some digital and rag chew or whatever, as I said, like Feld Hill is my favorite mode. That's I just want to flip things on. If I hear that signal out there, someone doing it, I'm like, cool, I'm playing. I don't want to play IT guy for an hour.
I'm right there. I'm right there with you. The last thing I want to do is come sit in front of my computer again just to do more IT support.
Yeah,
exactly.
Well, I can relate because everybody's going, what you gonna have for dinner? And I said, I don't know, but I'm not gonna cook it. Spending 8 hours in a restaurant.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, I just shot you an email. So you should have you should have my contact info.
All right, hang on here. Let me see. What, D Hickman at It's My Net? Or which one did you send it to?
No, I sent it to the one on your QRZ page.
Me at David H. Hickman?
Yes, sir.
I got to double check one. I tried to send a mail recently on that. It did. Oh, wait. Here. I think I got a problem with it. I think I got a. Oh, wait. Did I pay that domain? I may have forgot. I think that expired when I was. Oh, shoot. I may have lost that domain. I think it expired when I was sick because I dropped off the face of the earth for 6 weeks. All right. Name cheaped. But hey, D Hickman at its-my.net, its-my.net. That's my personal email. Yep, I didn't pay it. Oh crap! And I'm not going to pay hostage fees.
What was the other one? D Hickman or Hickman?
DHICKMAN at Indigo Tango Sierra, the dash, literally hyphen, MikeYankee.net.
Gotcha.
Yeah, name cheap support. All right, 04 DA. Yeah. You see, I tried to do something earlier to that me at David H. Hickman, so wouldn't surprise me if it's having problems. And nah, it expired on January 9th. Yep. I gotta see if I can get it back. Yeah, keep your health, man. Don't get old.
I can relate.
Yeah, you get in your 40s, man, and stuff starts falling apart. And then the goal is to fix the bad habits so you can see your 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s.
Okay, well, I'm in the 40s.
Yeah, I'm in the 60s.
Oh.
I just sent that to you. It was my -its dot.
It's 10 o'clock.
Hey, someone else has got a Mac too. Just said the time. I just heard that.
That was mine.
Yeah, I love that time thing.
I just sent that to you. I think I sent it to the right address.
It's dash. Well, here, how about what's your email? Let's just do it the other direction.
Okay, it's TCON, TEE, Tango, Echo, Echo, Kilo, Oscar, November @gmail.com.
TEEK what? I didn't get last
ON, Kilo, Oscar, November @gmail.com.
Gmail.com. Okay, here.
At Gmail.
Yeah, I got it. Gmail.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Sending your way.
Oh, I got it, David.
Yep. Now, my Gmail, the account I got, that It's My Net, that's been one of those original Gmail business accounts that you were giving for free, like over a decade ago.
Yeah.
And I pay for, if you pay for them, like the workspace one, you get free storage as part of that. And if you play around with it a little bit, you can turn it into, that goes right into the GCP stuff.
Gotcha.
And so if you run some scripts, there's some nice scripts out there that you can run on Linux, and it'll turn into a fused file system.
Gotcha.
So there's some fun stuff you could do out there. So yeah, a lot of guys use it to back up their NAS, and I just pay for a couple of accounts. So if it ever to get caught, I lose one. Okay, that's life. There's no rules other than the only rule they have is 750 gigs a day upload. That's it. And with my crappy Cox connection, I get 220 gigs tops. That's on a good day. Yeah, it sounds rough. And then I will have where I'm moving. We'll have 1 gig guaranteed. So that's kind of terrifying.
Yeah.
So, well, guys, I'm gonna drop out here. So nice talking to you, everything. And yeah, you gonna be on? You gonna be on next week?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'll try to be on next week. I'll put this in my schedule again.
I just
Okay,
replied
talk
back
to
to
you guys.
that. So I just replied back to that. So you should have it.
Yep, I heard it.
Cool.
I heard it ding. So, okay. Talk to you later, guys.
Okay, David, have a good evening.
Later.
Yeah, see you guys.
All right, bye.
All right.
I'm going to jump out too later.
All right, Lair, be good. Hey, what do you wait before you run? What do you want to do for field day this year? Before you run, what do you want to do for field day this year?
As far as
you want to bring stuff out, you want to do something. What do you have any thoughts, plans? Sure. We're supposed to set up. We're supposed to plan for a full blown deal like we did last year, and maybe we have people this year. But what do you want to do different? Think about it. You don't have to do it today, but I'm sure David will have a tent. Last time was just crazy with wind and nobody there, but I'm sure we'll have a tent option that this year might work better than last.
Yeah, hopefully so.
And then other stuff, but you got nothing new or exciting, different?
Not at this point. I need to get that yellow generator up and work on tower trailer, but I've got so much stuff going on here that I don't know how far I'll get.
Put it in your back of your head, and I'm looking for some light trailers, and I've got a bunch of different sources of them. I just haven't had time to do anything about them. But one of those that has like the 30-foot light trailer with the 6 kilowatt generator sitting on the bottom.
Yeah, I missed a deal with it last time. There was two of them not far away. On Facebook, sold for like $200 or $400 for a pair.
What? There's something wrong. Something was bad there.